Chapter 1193. 30 minutes later, Lulu drove a fancy Big Dipper minivan to Panjiayuan. When Su Yin had just left the Dragon Brigade, on his last night in Yanjing before going to Hudong, Lulu drove this minivan to Laopan Street to eat roasted lamb. Lulu opened the door and saw the mess in the room. He knew what was going on. "You came quickly." Su Yin smiled. Lulu first looked at the guys who had been completely subdued by Su Yin, then raised his head and said angrily, "Brother, what's going on? These people are. What do you think?" Su Yin said, "They're definitely not friends. I asked you to help me deal with these people. They're all experts. Do you have a place to lock them up?" "Brother, I know why you asked me." Lulu smiled bitterly. "You must know what I'm doing now, right?" Su Yin smiled faintly. "Then I'll have to trouble you." Lulu nodded. "Okay, I have a lot of empty dog cages anyway. They're all double-layered by my own hands. They're absolutely solid, reinforced with steel bars. Not to mention a few people. Even a lion can't get out. After all, lions and dogs were animals. They could be locked up in cages. But Wei Yishan's people were experts. No matter how strong Lily's cage was, it was difficult to say that it could trap a few experts. Of course, Su Yin was already prepared. Before Lulu came, he had already used silver needles to seal the acupuncture points of these people's dantian. It would be difficult for them to break through in a short time. If they couldn't break through the sealed acupuncture points, they couldn't use true qi. Experts had no advantage. Therefore, Lily's cage was enough to trap these people. "How's business?" Su Yin asked. He accidentally knew that Lulu had a pet business, so he knew that he had a place to lock people up. "It's okay. I can still make a living," Lulu said. Nowadays people are rich and raise dogs like their sons. Especially the old people whose children are abroad and young people whose parents are not around when they're doing business. They're very close to pets. "It's true. I heard that your dogs are quite pure," Su Yin said. "That's how it should be. Business is about honesty." Lu nodded. "Yes. Nowadays everything is fake. It's okay to sell pork soaked in sheep's urine as mutton skewers. As long as the quality is similar, they'll brag to the sky, saying that the dog's father is the champion and the dog mother is the runner-up. So, that. Actually, it's nothing much. As long as there are profits to be made." Su Yin patted Leilei's shoulder. "I'll leave these people to you." Leilei patted his chest and promised, "Don't worry." Su Yin was not polite at all. He stepped forward and chopped a few times at the back of their necks. All of them fainted. Leilei was very quick. He quickly began to drag people into his Big Dipper, which was usually used for pulling dogs. The back seat of his car was removed, and an iron cage was welded in it. This really saved him a lot of trouble. Su Yin was not afraid of any accidents. The two of them quickly threw Gongzhen's subordinates into the car. Lulu stepped on the accelerator and pulled them to his hometown in the suburbs. After all, he had just started a pet business and did not have the ability to build a large dog farm. He could only make do with changing the yard in his hometown into a dog yard. Anyway, no one lived in this place. 95% of the people in this place were not in their hometown. They either bought houses in the city or worked to rent houses in the city. The remaining 5% were not at home all day and wandered around. Therefore, he was not afraid of disturbing the residents, nor was he afraid that someone would be unwilling to trouble him. Leilei used the fastest time to rush back to the place where he raised dogs in his hometown. He threw each of these people into a dog cage, one by one. These guys were still unconscious and did not know what had happened. After asking Leilei to help deal with these people, Su Yin also felt a lot more relaxed. The feeling of not being followed around was quite comfortable. The feeling of being peeped at was like when you were taking a bath in a bathhouse, and there were a few men beside you who kept staring at your lower body endlessly, as if they had seen something terrifying. Now Su Yin could finally return to the Dragon Brigade with peace of mind. After returning to the Dragon Brigade, the first thing Su Yin did was to look for Yumarin. He really did not know what he had left behind. Yumarin was in the medical room participating in the development of a new anti-fatigue drug, mainly used for special missions. Therefore, Su Yin could not call her out for a while. He simply went to Wang Yi's office to drink tea. Wang Yi did not expect Su Yin to suddenly visit at this time. His eyes lit up. You're here at the right time. Master, from the look in your eyes, I know something must have happened. Su Yin sat on the chair. It's better to be here at the right time than early. Tell me, what do you want from me? I want you to help me get something back. Wang Yi said. Something at the level of a national treasure. Su Yin nodded. And okay. But I have to deal with some personal matters first. What matters? Wang Yi said. Personal matters or national matters are more important. Don't you know this simple truth? I know this, hee. But if I have a bunch of little tails following behind me, I'm afraid I can't do things well. Su Yin was a little troubled. After I deal with those little followers, I can do things with peace of mind. Wang Yi was stunned. Who did you provoke this time? Are you being watched by someone? I can't be sure yet, but I suspect it's that old fox Wei Yishan. Su Yin smiled. Last time, Randolph came to Huaxia to ask for his help. At that time, Wei Yishan didn't want to provoke us, and I didn't want to complicate things. I just wanted to capture Randolph, so I gave him a chance to leave. I heard about this from Yinglong, Wang Yi said. If Wei Yishan doesn't want to provoke us, then why do you suspect it's his people? Su Yin shrugged. I don't know. It's just a feeling. That's why I can't be sure. But it's very likely. Leave this to me. I'll arrange for someone to take care of it for you. Wang Yi said. There are so many people in the Dragon Brigade who are itching to do something. Don't worry about it. If anyone dares to target you, I'll arrange for someone to follow you and punish them severely. That's a good idea. Su Yin grinned. That would save him a lot of trouble. Originally, he didn't want to bring his troubles to the army. But since Wang Yi was so enthusiastic, Su Yin wouldn't refuse his kindness. Wang Yi nodded. In that case, you can go and do what I've arranged for you. Wait a minute, Shizhuan. I still have some personal matters to attend to. You can't find someone to replace me. Su Yin said. Once this is over, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Wang Yi glared at him. Why are you so nosy? How long do you need? Su Yin calculated the date of the auction. The day after tomorrow. It'll be over the day after tomorrow. Then it'll be too late. Wang Yi said. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? It's not that I'm in a hurry. It's a charity auction. I'm representing the Sky Entertainment Group to give some charity. Su Yin. This is a matter of accumulating good karma. Shizhuan, I've already agreed to it. So I can't refuse this matter. Wang Yi was stunned. Charity auction? Are you talking about the charity auction at the Asia International Auction House the day after tomorrow? Su Yin nodded. Yes, that's right. You can go in. Wang Yi was stunned. That auction house isn't a place anyone can enter. Even the media can't. Chapter 1194. Wang Yi's face instantly lit up with joy. He muttered to himself, Ayaya, why didn't I think of that? I really found the right person to ask you to help me with this matter. Other people really can't do it. Ha ha ha, yes, only you can do it. Su Yin looked at Wang Yi blankly. Shizhuan, you've been talking for so long. How come I don't understand anything? I want you to find a way to attend the charity auction. Wang Yi was a little excited. I was wondering if I should help you think of a way. Now you've saved me a lot of trouble. I forgot. As the big boss of Sky Entertainment Group, you'll definitely receive an invitation. TSK. I really can't underestimate you. As he spoke, Wang Yi looked at Su Yin up and down. Not bad, kid. You can be considered one of the big bosses in Huaxia. You should know that only 120 people are invited to this auction. Kid, you're amazing. You've been out for such a short time. You've really made me proud. As he spoke, Wang Yi couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ah, good. I'll count on you at the auction. What do you mean? Su Yin was stunned. Shizhuan, you're not asking me to go to the auction and snatch some treasure, are you? My brain. If you really want something, just tell me. Anyway, I'm going with the intention of doing charity. Even if it's a national treasure, if the person who sold it can use the money for charity, he can't be a bad person. Su Yin's meaning was very clear. Indeed, Even if the treasure was a national treasure, and someone obtained it through improper means, it was still better than selling it for money, or giving it to corrupt officials for rewards. After the money was bought, it would be used for charity. With this meaning, it was a good thing. Soo-Yun felt that it should be advocated. If the country needed it, then he would pay for it. After all, Sky Entertainment Group was rich, and he didn't have to pay for it himself. He wouldn't feel bad if he spent more money on charity. He could also solve the country's problems. It was the best of both worlds. No, it was the best of all three. He felt comfortable in his heart. There was no harm in doing more good deeds. Yes, someone who can afford to do charity is definitely not a bad person. But I'm afraid that someone will take advantage of the unfair rules. Wang Yi frowned. Soo-Yun took a sip of water and motioned for Wang Yi to continue. He continued to listen. You must have seen a lot of news about sky-high auctions. It's all on the internet and in the news. But in fact, there is a very serious situation of bidding but not buying in the domestic auction industry. Wang Yi said, in the past 5 years, there have been many fake auctions at Sotheby's and Christie's. Master, are you saying that this is a deliberate publicity stunt? Soo-Yun said, but this charity auction is different, right? Wang Yi shook his head. It's all the same. The regulation of charity auctions is even less strict. Because of the chaos in the auction market, the country has formulated some rules. They state that the auction house is not allowed to split any interests into equal shares for public offering. They are not allowed to use centralized auctions, market makers, or other centralized trading methods to carry out transactions. They are not allowed to trade interests according to standardized trading units. Any investor who buys and then sells, or buys the same item after selling, must have a minimum of 5 trading days. He paused for a moment. But these rules can't be applied to charity auctions. The charity auction is purely a donation event. And then? Soo-Yun nodded. That's right. The money from the charity auction doesn't go into their own pockets. There will definitely be fake auctions at this charity auction, Wang Yi said firmly. Soo-Yun sighed in his heart. Who could be so wicked? Those who can participate in this charity auction are definitely big bosses. If this auction is fake, aren't they afraid of being scolded to death? You know about Tang Sankai, right? Wang Yi asked. Of course. It's the low-temperature lead-glazed pottery that was popular in the Tang dynasty. Soo-Yun. If he still didn't know this bit of historical knowledge, he might as well quit. Wang Yi nodded. Then you should also know the value of Tang Sankai. The museum has some. I've seen it before. 3 colored female figurines, 3 colored barbarians leading camel figurines, 3 colored court ladies, 3 colored scholar figurines, warrior figurines, foreign merchants riding Tang's 3 colored camels, Tang's 3 colored horses, and 3 colored heavenly king figurines. There are quite a lot of them. Soo-Yun said. Could it be that these things were stolen? Wang Yi waved his hand. No one would dare to steal the things in these museums. I'm talking about a 3-colored Tang king. It's a pottery figurine of the Tang dynasty's Emperor Old Li. Damn, there's such a thing too? The people of the Tang dynasty are really bold. They even dared to make dolls of their emperors? Soo-Yun was amused. Then this thing must be worth a lot of money, right? Wang Yi nodded. It's definitely worth a lot of money. But this thing didn't come from the right way. What do you mean? Soo-Yun asked. This thing is fake. Wang Yi said. It's definitely a super high-quality imitation that no one can tell. Damn. Soo-Yun's eyes widened. There are even fake copies of this thing. But when this thing enters the auction house, it's all appraised by experts. Are the experts blind? Experts nowadays sigh. Wang Yi shook his head helplessly. Soo-Yun nodded seriously. That's right. Experts are experts. As long as the red packet is thick enough, everything is F***king real. The thing we're investigating this time is very big. This is a breakthrough point, Wang Yi said. You don't have to think too much about other things. Go to the auction first and keep an eye on the people. Soo-Yun nodded. Master, tell me what to do. At the auction, once this tricolored Tang King is taken out, it will definitely cause a sensation. There will definitely be a lot of people bidding for it. They will also be very surprised by the person who dares to take this thing out for charity. Wang Yi said. At that time, there will definitely be someone who will keep bidding. No matter how much it costs, he will be the last one to bid. Su Yin furrowed his brows. But this person will not really pay in the end, Wang Yi said, because this thing is theirs. And he is only here to raise the price of this thing. When the price is raised, he will not pay and the thing will naturally return to his hands. This was also a charity auction. The auction house did not have the right to sue. The seller was also one of their own people, so they would not pursue the matter. This matter was over just like that. But this fake tricolored Tang King became the real thing, and became the headline of the news. If it was sold again, it could be sold for a terrifying price. After listening to Wang Yi, Su Yin understood in his heart. It seemed that this matter was really quite interesting. Master, I understand. This matter is a complete scam. Su Yin smiled slightly. In that case, among the bosses at the auction, there are people who rely on this kind of business to make a fortune. Hee, I will take care of it. Wang Yi was still full of confidence in Su Yin. I believe that you will definitely take care of this matter. Leave your small matter to me. Now do what you need to do. I will arrange for someone to clean up your mess. It's tail clipping, Su Yin argued. Cleaning up his mess was such an unpleasant word. Wang Yi nodded and said, Okay. No matter what it is, I will get someone to cut off those little tails that are following you. You just need to prepare for your mission. Don't worry about anything else. Go do your thing. When will you Marin and the rest be done? I am still waiting to get something from her, Su Yin said. Wang Yi shook his head. I can't be sure about that. This is their medical matter. However, it should take some time. Then you wait. However, you have to leave tonight. Otherwise, I won't be able to get someone to deal with those little tails for you. I understand. Su Yin nodded and said, Don't worry. Leave this matter to me. It will definitely be fine. Later, you just need to prepare someone to eliminate the counterfeiting nest in one fell swoop. Chapter 1195. Because there were missions, most of the members had gone out to do things, while the rest had gone to train. The Divine Dragon Brigade was not a place for idlers. Apart from Su Yin, who was an exception, no one else could easily pass a day here in a muddle-headed manner. Su Yin walked around for a while, then decided to wait at the entrance of the medical team. Finally, someone saw him and went to inform Yumarin. Half an hour later, Yumarin received the results of the research and quickly recorded it before rushing out. When did you get here? Yumarin saw Su Yin squatting there. She was certain that he was here to look for her. Su Yin grinned. He stood up and patted the back of his pants. I just got here not long ago. I heard that you were busy, so I went to my master's office to wait for a while. He still has other things to do, and I'll be bothering him if I stay in his office. So you came here alone to wait for me? Yumarin smiled. Su Yin nodded. Yeah. I just walked around and suddenly felt like I'm the only free person in the Dragon Brigade. This feeling is quite sad. What's there to be sad about? Yumarin said. Others can't wait to be envious. Who can be like you all the time? Now everyone is saying that you're living like a living god. Why? Are you still not satisfied? Do you want to go to the training field? I don't really want to go. Other than training, I don't have any other memories in my head. Su Yin laughed. Yumarin said to Su Yin, Let's go to my dorm. The thing you left behind should be quite important. Didn't you notice it? Su Yin was a little puzzled. What exactly was it that he didn't notice at all? Yet Yumarin felt that it was especially important to him. I really don't know what I lost. Su Yin was surprised. Money? Yumarin stared at Su Yin speechlessly. Am I that bored? It's just a piece of obsidian, and your name is engraved on it. Don't you think it's something important? Who sent it? Obsidian? What is it? Su Yin was stunned. He really didn't know what it was. He even engraved his name. How could you not know? Yumarin was a little surprised. Obsidian is a kind of lucky charm. Obsidian is one of the most powerful crystals in eliminating negative energy. Obsidian was a type of gemstone, also known as Apache tears. Legend has it that if you give the obsidian to the person you like, you will no longer cry and will be happy. You know quite a lot. Is obsidian that awesome? Suyin said. Eliminating negative energy means avoiding villains, right? Who cares about me so much that they even carved a name for me? Could it be that you prepared it for me, and you were afraid that I would be embarrassed to ask for it, so you said that I left it behind? Yumarin smiled helplessly. You are quite imaginative. I'm not that careful. Suyin was quite surprised. Yumarin's character was indeed not the kind of person who would joke around. Then I really want to see what's the situation. When I helped you wash your clothes, the clothes were washed in the washing machine. It's in the washing machine. It must be in one of your pockets, Yumarin said. I didn't pay attention to it. At first, I thought that the washing machine made a strange noise and broke down. I almost changed the washing machine. Later, I thought that a button or a key might have fallen inside. And then I found this. After the two of them arrived at the dormitory, Yumarin took out the obsidian she found and handed it to Suyin. Suyin took it and had a look. It really did have his name engraved on it. He did not know why, but Suyin was able to recognize the writing on the obsidian stone. Although it was engraved, he could still tell that it was Qin Wan'er's writing. Suyin took a deep breath. When did Qin Wan'er secretly put this on him? Okay, I've returned it to you. You have to keep it well. Maybe the person who gave it to you didn't want you to know. But now that you know, you have to keep it well. After all, it's someone's good intentions. Yumarin said lightly. If there's nothing else, I'll go and do my work. The drug experiment is not done yet. My tasks this month are quite heavy. You have to be more careful when you're outside. Don't be too tired. Suyin stuffed the obsidian into his pocket. And I know. Then you go and do your work. Master still has a task for me. After bidding farewell to Yumarin, Suyin guessed that Wang Yi's side had already arranged everything. After saying goodbye, he left directly. As for who Wang Yi arranged for, Suyin didn't worry too much. It didn't matter which team it was. It was more than enough to deal with the group of people under Wang Yi. This time, Suyin didn't contact Ma San'er. He directly found a hotel closest to the Asian auction house and booked a standard room. After Ma San'er got rid of his tail, he would naturally call him. Sure enough, Ma San'er called at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Brother, I got rid of them. Although no one is following me now, I suddenly thought of something. I can run away, but the temple can't. How can I go back to the shop? Someone will definitely call me when I go back. You have to show me the way. Suyin smiled. He only realized this problem later. This matter wasn't over yet. It was indeed very dangerous for Ma San'er to go back to Pan Garden alone. I'll send you the address of the hotel. Come over directly. It seems that you've realized this long ago. Brother Yin, remember, Xinjiang is a complete set. When I go, you have to serve me well. Otherwise, I won't be able to stand it. Ma San'er snorted. Wait for me in the hotel. If you don't get rid of those bastards, I won't leave you. They followed me all the way today. If they block me, they'll die. I'm so scared. Get 2 bottles of beer first and wait for me to calm down. Okay. Suyin hung up Ma San'er's call and called the front desk. He asked for the phone number of a restaurant with takeout service. He seriously ordered 4 dishes and 2 packs of beer. Ma San'er definitely didn't have a hot meal since morning. He really needed to make up for it. After receiving Suyun's text message, Ma San'er rushed to the hotel without stopping. Suyin had already prepared the food and wine for him. As soon as Ma San'er entered the door and smelled the fragrance, he laughed and said, It's not in vain that I walked around for more than 8 hours a day. I even refilled the oil twice. Those bastards seemed to have noticed me. They wanted to block me several times. Fortunately, I reacted quickly. Otherwise, it would be troublesome. As Ma San'er spoke, he sat down and stuffed a chicken wing into his mouth. Then he opened a bottle of beer with his teeth and drank several mouthfuls. Brother Yun, this matter can't continue like this. Those bastards won't stop. You don't have to worry about the rest. Naturally, someone will take care of it. Suyin smiled. Before the morning of the day after tomorrow, these guys will naturally disappear. Ma San'er was stunned. Are you going to find someone to kill them? Or are you going to kill them if they don't kill you the day after tomorrow? Someone will take care of them. Come with me tomorrow to buy some decent clothes. I'll take you to an event. Soo-Yun. You'll definitely be interested. What event? Single people making friends? Ma Sander smiled and said, Didn't I tell you? I found someone who can talk about marriage. The girl has already gone home to prepare. After I talk to her family, I'll go and propose. I won't be single anymore. Do you understand? Charity bazaar? Have you heard about it? Soo-Yun raised his eyebrows and asked. Ma Sander quivered and almost peed himself. Brother Yin, are you kidding me? The charity bazaar at the Asia International Auction House the day after tomorrow? Soo-Yun nodded. Why would I trick you? Damn. Brother. I forgot that you're CEO Sue of Sky Entertainment Group. You have an invitation? Ma Sander was excited. I heard that there's a lot of good stuff at this charity bazaar. I really want to go. Then be my assistant. Soo-Yun said. Chapter 1196. Since Wang Yi had promised to help Soo-Yun deal with the trouble, Soo-Yun was completely relieved. The whole Dragon War Special Force was brought out by Yuan Qingdi. Everyone was secretly protecting Soo-Yun. Anyone who wanted to get close to Soo-Yun was tracked and investigated. After the investigation, Yuan Qingdi was really scared. Yuan Qingdi cursed for a long time. There were too many of them. Did they have to track one person? And these guys were quite capable. It didn't take them long to find the hotel Soo-Yun was staying in. More importantly, after they were caught, they kept their mouths shut. No matter how Yuan Qingdi threatened them, they wouldn't admit that they were here to trouble Soo-Yun. Obviously, they had been ordered to die. If they dared to talk nonsense, they would die a horrible death. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep their mouths shut like that. Who did Leader Yin offend? Xingzhe had always admired Soo-Yun. Respecting Soo-Yun was no different from respecting Yuan Qingdi. You arranged so many people to track him. It's a human wave tactic. Maybe he didn't offend anyone. Guan Liang said seriously. I heard from Dragon's Fury that Leader Yen is the big boss of an entertainment group. What kind of people are those in the entertainment circle? As a big boss, there must be paparazzi who want to make some money. It's normal for someone to track him. Yuan Qingdi slapped the back of Guan Liang's head. You have a good imagination. Your paparazzi are a group of experts. No matter how bad they are, they have some ability. How much money can paparazzi make by taking a picture? Can you guys use your brains and think about it? Paparazzi. Guan Liang smiled embarrassedly and scratched his head for a long time. That's what I was thinking. It's just a casual remark. Huh? Boss, what are you talking about? Didn't the vice chief say anything about the situation? Xingzhe said, The king of hell is easy to deal with, but the little devils are hard to deal with. It's too troublesome for us to deal with this pile of trash. Everything is troublesome. If you don't like it, don't do it. Yuan Qing Emperor said, We'll do whatever the deputy commander tells us to do. Don't worry about other things. Other things are out of our control. Xingzhe nodded. That's true. However, I still don't understand. Leader Yen is the boss of an entertainment group. What kind of woman doesn't he have? Why would he stay in a hotel with a man? Your taste is too strong. If you eat too much of one flavor, you'll want to change it, right? Guan Liang added. The two of them raised their eyebrows and said proudly, I think you guys have nothing better to do. You still have the mood to joke around. Yuan Qing Emperor was speechless. If Yen Long knows what you said, you'll have to bear the consequences. I won't help you. Trouble comes from careless talk. Don't you understand? When Leader Yin dealt with you guys, you weren't so proud. Humph. The two of them shivered. Boss, you can't betray us like this. Yuan Qing Emperor pointed at a black MPV not far away and sneered. If you don't want me to betray you, then be good and get ready to work. Do you see that car? Soon someone will get off. We'll get ready to move. It's almost time to finish. Jokes aside, the Dragon Brigade was serious. Hearing Yuan Qing Emperor's order, Xingzhe and Guan Liang took the lead and said, Yes, sir. Gongzhen spent almost the whole day in fear. He was not sure. In the past, Lord Zeng would let Xiongfeng lead the team whenever there was a problem. This was the first time he led a team. He led 43 people under Lord Zeng. Before they came to Yanjing, they had been doing well. However, since a few of them went missing yesterday, they began to lose contact with more and more people. The people he sent out would report the latest situation to him every 2 hours, but from today onwards, one group after another began to lose 2 departments. The last news Gong Zhen got was that Su Yin had booked a room in the hotel in front of him. He knew nothing else. This was his last straw. He had to figure it out. Otherwise, he would definitely be skinned alive by Lord Zeng when he went back. 43 people. Now only the 2 beside him were left. How could he face others when he went back? Brother Zhen, isn't this too strange? Lin Fa was trained by Gong Zhen. Encountering such a situation today, he was also very nervous. If Gong Zhen screwed up and angered Lord Zeng, he would definitely be in trouble. Even Lord Zeng knew that he was Gong Zhen's confidant. Gong Zhen was also upset. He was not in the mood to listen to these things. He only had one thought now. Should he go into the hotel or not? If he went back directly and reported it to Lord Zeng, he might be alive. But he might also be skinned alive by Lord Zeng. But it was also dangerous to go into the hotel. Maybe he would be skinned alive by Su Yin. In such a dilemma, Gong Zhen was not in the mood to care about Lin Fa. Of course I know it's strange. But what's strange about it? We have to know what's strange about it. Do you understand? If our people are all killed by Su Yin, we can't follow him. We'll die if we go. But we can't tell whether our people are killed by Su Yin or not. Just the brother who told Xian Air said that he didn't see Su Yin do anything. In addition to Lin Fa, there was Gao Chong. Gao Chong was smart, so Gong Zhen kept him by his side to give him ideas. That was why he was not assigned a task. Brother Zhen, if there's no result, we'll die if we go back. Lord Zeng is very suspicious. We all know that. This is really hard to say. Yeah, Lord Zeng definitely won't believe it. If the 3 of us go back, the others won't be found. If we say this, we don't want to live anymore. Gong Zhen glared. Both of you shut up. Don't talk so much nonsense. Who doesn't know about this shit? Gao Chong, you usually have a lot of ideas. You analyze it for me and think of a way to deal with it. Brother Zhen, other things can be discussed, but I really can't make the decision on this. Gao Chong said. This is too big. You have to be careful. This grandson. Gong Zhen scolded in his heart. He knew what Gao Chong was thinking. He wouldn't get involved in this matter. No matter what big problem there was, he couldn't be implicated. If he was implicated, it would be troublesome. Gao Chong did think so. As long as he didn't talk nonsense, he had a way to shirk his responsibility if something happened. Gong Zhen would take the blame. If he came up with an idea, it would give Gong Zhen a reason to push the responsibility to him. Gao Chong was very clear about Gong Zhen's ideas. Well, in this case, I can only make the decision. Gong Zhen said coldly, Gao Chong, you're smarter than Lin Fa. You go in and explore. I'll turn on the remote camera. The camera is not on your chest. Mother ****. Gao Chong scolded in his heart. This damn Gong Zhen. He actually used this trick to force him. Seeing that he didn't help him share the burden, he set a trap for him. But he set it tactfully, so he had to do it. If he did it, he couldn't do it well. But if he didn't do it and it reached Wei Yishan's ears, he would be in trouble. But today, they lost contact with each other when they went out. If he went out alone now, wasn't it obvious that he was going to die? This King Gong Zhen was really a good for nothing. He was far worse than Xiongfeng. Xiongfeng always rushed to the front when he did things, while Gong Zhen only knew how to King hide behind. That's right, Gao Chong. You're smart. I'm stupid. I can only rely on you for this. Lin Fa added. Brother Zhen still has to preside over the overall situation. At this critical moment, I'll really need you to work hard. It's not hard, it's not hard. Gao Chong cursed 10,000 times in his heart, but he didn't dare to say anything. At this point he had no choice. Lin Fa quickly set up the camera for him. Brother Chong, it's up to you. Gong Zhen also pretended to say to him. You must be careful. This is a hotel. There shouldn't be anything. If something really happens, don't panic. We will definitely go and help you immediately. With the camera, we can predict the situation. Don't worry. Chapter 1197. Emperor Yuanqing waited until the door of the black MPV opened. A figure quickly jumped out of the car, looked around, and rushed into the hotel. Songlong, Tenglong, get ready to move. Emperor Yuanqing ordered. You two go in first. Don't let them find you. Once they find something wrong, take them down immediately. Don't let them get close to Yanlong. There are still people in the car. If they resist, kill them if necessary. Yes. Xingzhe and Guanliang immediately made preparations and quickly rushed towards the hotel. Gao Chong had already become their target and prey. As long as they were targeted by the people of Longzhan, they absolutely wouldn't be able to escape. After Xingzhe and Guanliang took action, Emperor Yuanqing said to the rest, "Everyone listen carefully. Once Songlong and Tenglong make a move, the people in the car will definitely react. At that time, we will take them down quickly. We can't give them a chance to escape. Do you understand?" Understood. Ma Fubang and the rest of the members of Longzhan answered. The deputy chief had ordered that all the tails that were following Su Yin must be cut off by tomorrow morning. This was not a small task. In one day, they had to catch more than 40 people. Their hands were numb, and a few of them were brought back from a dog farm in the suburbs. But an order was an order. They had to complete it. This day was actually quite smooth. Except for the unknown number of people in the black MPV, the rest were all dealt with. If there was no accident, they could go back and have a good sleep after tonight. Gao Chong entered the hotel. His heart began to beat fast. This was not a joke. Once he made a mistake, he would die. It didn't matter if Gongzhen was blamed for this, as long as he didn't lose his life. Some things were better than others. It didn't mean that he was good, but he was good. The receptionist greeted him with a smile. "May I ask how many people are here?" "I'm looking for someone," Gao Chong said unhappily. "I have an appointment." At this time, Xingzhe and Guanliang also walked in. Two men coming to a hotel in the middle of the night would definitely make people feel that something was wrong. Just the thought of two men in a room made people feel disgusted. Who wouldn't want to take a second look at them? The girl at the front desk saw that Gao Chong was not in a good mood, so she did not pay much attention to him. Her attention was all on the two men, who came out to get a room in the middle of the night. "You two are here to. Don't misunderstand, we're not here to do anything shameful." Xingzhe pointed at Guanliang and said, "He's here to catch the adulterers. His wife might be fooling around with someone else here." Guanliang's eyes widened when he heard this. F***ck Xingzhe, you bastard, are you cursing me? However, Gao Chong, who was not far from them, also looked at them with slight disdain and ridicule. Guanliang certainly could not say anything. He could only swallow his words of scolding Xingzhe. The girl on duty at the front desk widened her eyes. You're not here to cause trouble, are you?" "Of course." Guanliang pointed at Xingzhe coldly. When his wife cuckolded him, he directly killed the man who slept with his wife's broken shoes. "What do you think we're here for?" He was originally a soldier, and he looked like a man. He had a fierce aura, and his words were so aggressive. Anyone who heard it would feel scared. The receptionist was stunned. Big brothers, if you have any personal grudges, that's your personal matter. Don't cause trouble in our hotel. We have surveillance cameras." The receptionist pointed at the surveillance cameras in the lobby. Xingzhe chuckled. Don't worry. It's not the first time that this happened to his wife. We're used to it. We won't really do anything. We're just scaring them. We'll settle it ourselves. Don't worry. We definitely won't cause trouble for your hotel. Don't worry. At this time, the elevator that Gao Chong pressed had arrived. He had just entered the elevator when Xingzhe pulled Guanliang and ran towards the elevator. "We have to catch them in bed. We'll go up and find them ourselves. Once we find them, we'll have a good talk with that bastard." Gao Chong really did not want anyone to enter the elevator with them. However, these two people forced their way in, so he could not do anything. Gao Chong directly pressed the button for the 9th floor according to the room that he had found earlier. Which floor did old Yuan say that he saw your wife and that man go to? Xingjia's performance was really professional. It was not exaggerated at all. It was especially realistic and lively. Guan Liang was speechless. He could only play along and said, "The 9th floor." Xingjia, who was about to press the button for the room number, smiled and said to Gao Chang, "Brother, you're also going to the 9th floor. What a coincidence." "Coincidence your ass." Gao Chang cursed angrily in his heart. However, he did not say anything on the surface. He just smiled casually. This guy really went to the 9th floor. Xingjia and Guan Liang knew in their hearts and did not say anything. When the elevator reached the 9th floor, Xingjia and Guan Liang rushed to get off the elevator. The two of them were still cursing. However, Gao Chang did not follow them down. Instead, he pressed the button for the 15th floor. He did not want to have these two guys squeaking beside him. Gongzhen, who was in the black business, also saw everything through the surveillance camera. He was a little flustered. This was definitely not right. There was definitely something wrong with these two guys. Why couldn't Gao Chang tell? He even took the elevator with them. "Brother, what should we do?" Lin Fa wasn't stupid. He knew that Gao Chang wouldn't come back this time. He would be targeted as soon as he entered the hotel. Then there was no fun. Why don't we drive away and let Gao Chang be the bait here? We still have a chance to escape. Gongzhen's face was gloomy. Are you really stupid or pretending to be smart? You think that Gao Chang was targeted as soon as he entered the hotel. Then, how can we not be targeted now? We have been targeted for a long time. Damn, the other party must be from the military. We have been tricked by Su Yun. When we were tricked into that broken bar yesterday, we were already tricked. Lin Fa's legs trembled. Oh my god, we're being targeted by the military. Isn't it hopeless? Brother Zhen, you have to be careful about this. We can't just sit here and wait for death, right? Of course not. Gongzhen snorted. Lin Fa, you have been following me all this time. I definitely can't let you bear this danger with me. I will stay. You go. I will take responsibility for this. Lin Fa's eyes were red. He really didn't expect Gongzhen to be loyal to him at this critical moment. I will get out of the car now. They will target me. You drive away. The faster you go, the better. After Gongzhen finished speaking, he patted Lin Fa's shoulder heavily. Don't worry. I will try my best to delay them. Go back and pass a message to Zheng. Say that I, Gongzhen, am incompetent. Brother Zhen. Lin Fa gritted his teeth. I will definitely pass the message to Zheng. Gongzhen got out of the car without looking back. Lin Fa couldn't care about anything else. He stepped on the accelerator and the car rushed out crazily. Regardless of whether Gongzhen was loyal or not, Lin Fa had to save his own life first. He wasn't going to throw his life away just because of Gongzhen's loyalty. As soon as the car left, Gongzhen's figure flashed into the darkness. He was very careful when he got out of the car. He opened the door facing the roadside, so no one saw him come out. Once Lin Fa drove away, it definitely proved that there was someone in the car. Of course, the person who targeted them wouldn't let them go. Gongzhen's mouth revealed a sinister smile. Lin Fa, after following me for so long, you should have learned some things. You should think more, right? Silly brother, I had no choice. It's better for you to be arrested than for both of us to be arrested. Gongzhen looked at the car that was driving away and said faintly before disappearing into the darkness. As soon as something happened to the black e-commerce, Yuan Qingdi immediately took people to chase after it. He also quickly contacted Xingjia and Guan Liang, asking them to arrest it immediately. There was no need to wait or ask for the reason. Just do it. Chapter 1198. Ma San'er was really puzzled. Su Yun's words were too accurate. When he said that those people would not harass them again, it was as if those people had really disappeared. They never appeared beside them again. They did not even have the slightest bit of annoying aura. Seeing that today was the day of the Asian International Auction House's charity auction, Ma San'er was so excited that he woke up at 5 in the morning. When Su Yun woke up at 7 in the morning, Ma San'er had already paced back and forth in his room more than 100 times. Brother Yin, you really can keep your composure. Such a grand event will start in 2 hours, and you can still sleep. Ma Sanner stared at Su Yun in disbelief. Su Yun stared at Ma Sanner, even more incredulously than Ma Sanner. Is there a need for that? You also know that there are still 2 hours left. Then why did you wake up at 5 in the morning? You're so annoying. You can't even sleep well. If you knew, you would have come out at this time. Sigh, I would have opened 2 rooms. Ma Sanner smiled. Don't be like that. If you opened 2 rooms, if bad people came, with my little ability, I would be caught and killed. Looking at Ma Sanner, who was already in a suit, Su Yun also got up to wash up. Ma Sanner, who do you think took out the items at this charity auction? These people are too generous, right? They directly donated the items? There's no such thing. Ma Sanner waved his hand. Only half of the money from this auction will be used for charity. The other half will be given to the owners of the items. The people who took out the items are not fools. Those who can participate in this auction are all famous big bosses in the country. They are all rich. The bid will definitely be twice the value of the items, so these people who took out the items will not suffer a loss. So it's just a one-sided charity for the bosses, right? Su Yun finally understood. That's right. Ma Sanner nodded. It was good for the bosses to do some charity. After all, it was a matter of accumulating good karma. He could not expect those losers who worked every day to pay off their mortgage and car loans to do charity. That was not realistic. Why would the losers buy an iPhone 4? Back then he sold his blood. When he bought the iPhone 5, he sold his kidney. Now that the iPhone 6 was released, he didn't even know what to sell to exchange for a new phone. How could he still be in the mood to do charity? Charity was something that could only be done by those big bosses who could casually throw branded bags to the women on the periphery. Ordinary people had the heart but were unable to do so. After washing up, Su Yun also changed into a decent set of clothes and immediately transformed into the big boss of Sky Entertainment Group. Ma Sanner also quickly got into his role and transformed into the CEO's assistant without any hesitation. The two of them casually ate a few mouthfuls of breakfast in the hotel, and then drove to the Asia International Auction House on time. As soon as the car stopped in the parking lot, Su Yun realized that he was too low-key and too lacking in grandeur. He really should not have driven a Kian. Looking at the cars parked in the parking lot, there were Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and not the regular version. They were all custom-made. The most exaggerated one was a custom-made S-Class Mercedes-Benz. Its exaggerated length and width took up 4 parking spaces. Compared to those big American pickup trucks, it took up a lot of space. Su Yun compared them. If it was a super luxury car, then a sedan was still more grandeur. As soon as the two of them got out of the car, someone immediately came up to them. Ma Sanner took out the invitation and handed it over. This is Sky Entertainment Group CEO Su. The person in charge of the reception was of course trained. He had memorized all the information about the bosses who came today. He immediately greeted Su Yun with a smile. He was very enthusiastic and led Su Yun all the way to the venue. He only left after he had arranged for Su Yun to sit in the designated seat. The seating arrangement was according to the order of arrival. Su Yun was neither early nor late. He was number 66, a very auspicious number. Basically all the bosses in the venue had brought their assistants, and Ma Sanner recognized that many of them were not assistants. They were all slightly famous appraisal experts. It seemed that not many of the bosses were willing to be fools. Doing charity required reputation, but if they really spent tens of millions to buy a false reputation, perhaps not many people would be willing to do so. It was not that they could not afford it, but that they did not think it was worth it. Were all businessmen particular about one thing? Make a profit. Otherwise, how could you become a big boss who was invited here? Fame and fortune were the highest goals of most of the people who came here today. That was why many bosses invited appraisal experts to be their assistants. Their intentions were completely obvious. The bosses who were friends with each other were all greeting and chatting with each other. The assistants who knew each other were also greeting each other. Ma Sanner lowered his head and sat in the seat next to Su Yun's, number 66 boss seat. Brother Yin. He paused for a moment. He felt that he had said something wrong. He coughed lightly and corrected himself. Boss Su, How much are you going to spend today? It depends. If these big bosses are not sincere about doing charity, I don't mind paying for all of them. Su-yin said. Rich people are rich people. Ma San'er smacked his lips. Brother, how much money do you have? Hundreds of millions? Or, hundreds of millions, my ass. I'm just representing Sky Entertainment Group. I don't have any money. Su-yin said. Aya, that's great. You're the only rich person here today. They're all representing themselves and spending their own money. You're representing Sky Entertainment. You're spending the group's money. No one can beat you. Ma San'er said flatteringly. This was the truth. Su-yin shrugged. It didn't matter. He would just do his best. He was just casually donating some money and doing what Wang Yi asked him to do. I came here today with a goal, Su-yin said lightly. Ma San'er revealed a smirk. Hehehe, all businessmen are evil. Yin. Boss Su, don't worry. If you see something, I'll give it to you. I won't let you lose too much. Tricolored Tang King. Su-yin said. What the hell? Ma San'er scratched his head. Tang tricolored? Brother Yin, I've never heard of Tang tricolored having a tricolored Tang King. Then today, I'll open your eyes and broaden your horizons. Su-yin chuckled. Ma San'er was a little excited. He was overwhelmed with emotions. Tricolored Tang King. Just hearing the name made him feel that it was very impressive. Maybe it really was something super valuable. Later, you'll have to help me take care of my nose. Don't make any mistakes, Su-yin said. Especially this tricolored Tang King. Brother Yin, don't worry. This is the first time I've heard of this thing. I'll definitely take care of it. There's something about antiques that can't be imitated even by fakes. That's the aura of time. Ma San'er said seriously. This thing, others can't see it, but we can. Su-yin of course believed Ma San'er. I brought you here to do this. Then you found the right person. Ma San'er said confidently. That was natural. Su-yin looked for Ma San'er because of this. With Ma San'er around, there would be no trouble. Whether that thing was real or fake, even 100 experts might not be able to tell the truth. But Ma San'er sniffed it with his nose, so it must be 99.9% reliable. The bosses with invitations came in one after another. The time interval was about the same. No one would be late for this kind of thing. Businessmen were very particular about punctuality. Therefore, no one would be late for this kind of thing. Everyone was a person of status. No one wanted to lose face on such an occasion and be called a person who wasn't punctual. That way, their reputation wouldn't be good. Chapter 1199. Just as Su-yin was preparing to quietly wait for the charity auction to start, a fatty sitting behind him suddenly exclaimed and slapped Su-yin's shoulder. Su-yin obviously sensed it and turned around to avoid the fatty's fat palm. He raised his eyebrows and used his expression to tell the fatty his doubts. Ma San'er also quickly turned his head and looked at the fat man who was wearing an Armani suit, but still couldn't show his figure. Isn't this the famous CEO Su? Although I, Fatty Chung, don't have big eyes, I'm still better at discovering things than them. Ha ha ha. Fatty Chung, Guo Tiancheng, was different from the boss sitting here. He was purely explosive. In the past, Guo Tiancheng's grandfather relied on the unstable state of the country to do the business of bandits in the 3 eastern provinces. Fortunately, he stopped in time and was not killed by the party. Later, Guo Tiancheng's father caught up with the establishment of the new Huaxia and speculated, multiplying the little money left by his grandfather by several times. Many people around said that the poor couldn't last more than 3 generations, and the rich couldn't last more than 3 generations. Each and every one of them enviously hoped that the Guo family would fall in Guo Tiancheng's generation. However, they didn't expect that when Guo Tiancheng's father was rich, the many courtyards and houses he bought were all demolished. His capital was even more robust. Although Guo Tiancheng fooled around since he was young and worshipped society, liked to fight with people in high school, and even used an iron sand gun to shoot people, when he was 30 years old, he suddenly walked on the right path and started to do something like organic rice. In a short 3 to 5 years, he became the leader of the organic rice industry in Huaxia. Although Guo Tiancheng could be considered as starting his own business, He had never experienced the hardships of starting a business. Those who had embarrassed him had all been defeated by him, so it was still difficult for him to get rid of the nouveau riche temperament on him. From the 8 gold rings and 2 jade thumb rings on his hands, it could be seen that he did not neglect any part of his body. The gold chain on his neck was as thick as his toes. If it was hung on a small tree that was not fully grown for a day, it would be crushed into a crooked tree. Guo Tiancheng squinted his small eyes and laughed loudly at Su Yun. This action also attracted the opinions of many other bosses. After all, in their eyes, this was a very uncultured performance. Su Yun smiled. Facing such a guy, he really didn't know what to say. I sell rice in the northeast. Guo Tiancheng thought that he was quite famous. Guo Tiancheng. Nice to meet you, Mr. Guo. Su Yun greeted him casually, not intending to chat further. Without waiting for Su Yun to turn around, Guo Tiancheng hurriedly said, Director Su, with such a big shot like you here, we definitely won't be in the limelight. Haha, you're in the entertainment industry. Don't you all like to create hype? Even the media is not allowed to be involved in this matter, and you still want to interfere? Su Yun smiled slightly. I'm just doing something to accumulate merit. I don't intend to create hype. After that, Su Yun didn't want to chat anymore. It seemed that he didn't have a good impression in the eyes of outsiders. Because Guo Tiancheng's voice was too loud, it attracted a lot of attention. Before, Su Yun was so low-key, he didn't attract any attention at all. Now he was the focus of attention. Moreover, Su Yun's social popularity was already very high. He didn't set up a Weibo account with a real name authentication system. If he did, his fans would probably exceed 10 million in a day. Yo, it really is Director Su of Sky Entertainment Group. A man in gray casual clothes next to Fatty Chung also spoke. Nice to meet you, Director Su. I'm Luo Huafeng of Nanjiang Heavy Industry. It's my honor to meet you today. You're too polite, Director Luo. Su Yun. It should be my Su Yun's honor. Su Yun really didn't like to say these polite words back and forth, but these guys seemed to like to go back and forth. It was as if they looked down on anyone who didn't say a few words of flattery. It was so fake that no one knew what the other was really thinking. But there was one thing that Su Yun was sure of. Perhaps he wasn't the richest or the most explosive among these people, but his reputation was definitely the easiest to remember. Because he was in the entertainment industry. The boss of the entertainment industry mingled with a bunch of female celebrities every day. How many of them didn't have scandals? Everyone knew this, so it was easy to understand how Luo Huafeng and Guo Tiancheng looked at Su Yun now. Director Su must be very happy every day. With so many beautiful women by your side. If I can have half of your happiness, my life won't be wasted. Guo Tiancheng's eyes narrowed into a line. When are you going to introduce a few celebrities to me? Everyone knew what Fatty Ching meant. With a successful career, there was no pressure. With so much money, they wouldn't be able to spend it all in their next life. Things that they didn't bring with them when they died couldn't be burned when they entered the coffin, right? If they could get to know the boss of Sky Entertainment and introduce a few female celebrities to him, their lives wouldn't be wasted. Some things were really like that. Guo Tiancheng's face was filled with anticipation. He was waiting for Director Su of Sky Entertainment to say something. Su Yun sneered in his heart. In these people's eyes, what were female celebrities? They were just playthings. Indeed, everyone was equal. That was all bullshit. People were divided into different levels. In the eyes of ordinary people, celebrities were high up. They were goddesses. They were untouchable. But in the eyes of the rich? For words, a plaything between his legs. Su Yun's heart was already conflicted. So what if they were female celebrities? They weren't the kind of women who would do anything to climb up the social ladder. Their efforts were rarely seen by people, but their dirty deeds would be seen by people and remembered in their hearts. Anything that happened would be treated as a scandal. They didn't even dare to go out on the street without wearing a mask or sunglasses. While many people chased after them, there were also many people who called them vixens behind their backs. They called them sluts and said that they seduced rich people. They didn't know that most of the time, it was these rich people who licked their faces and used all kinds of coercion to force them. Of course, there were also many small-time female celebrities who used this method to climb up the social ladder. But those who actually succeeded were few and far between. Most of them were tricked and thrown away after being tricked. Originally, if it was just Guo Tiancheng who said it, Su Yun would pretend that he didn't hear it and just laugh it off. But as soon as Guo Tiancheng's voice fell, Luo Huafeng also smiled and came over. Hee, there's such a good thing. Don't forget brother Luo. Director Su, you have resources, so you should share them. Haha. If the two's disgusting faces were outside, Su Yun definitely would have slapped them. He didn't care what other people said in private, but they definitely couldn't talk about his people in front of him. All the artists under Sky Entertainment were Su Yun's people. Naturally, Su Yun didn't want these two people to say that. But this was just the beginning. Guo Tiancheng and Luo Huafeng directly attracted more shameless old bastards. They all came up one by one. As if they knew Su Yun, they would have unlimited rights to sleep with female celebrities. Everyone, if you want to be friends with me, Su Yun, then I'll treat you as a friend. But if you treat me, Su Yun, as something else, then don't blame me for being embarrassed. Su Yun. Today, I'm here to do charity. If you want to talk about anything else, then I can only apologize. Everyone saw that Su Yun's face was cold, so they didn't say anything. They could only curse him in their hearts for being a hypocrite, and then return to their seats. These people were like that. Only by not giving them face could they know how annoying they were. Otherwise, they would feel good about themselves. People nowadays, there was no way to say anything. Chapter 1200. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders, guests, and bosses, hello. Welcome everyone to the Asia-Pacific auction. Today, everyone is gathered here for one thing, and that is for our public welfare and charity. I'm Wang Yiping, a nationally registered auctioneer. What is my auction certificate number? 9527. I hope to be friends with all the leaders, guests, and bosses in the future. Wang Yiping, a well-known auctioneer in Huaxia, smiled and said to everyone below the stage, "Now I announce the start of the charity auction." The momentum of this auction was absolutely great. Usually, dozens of people would attend an auction, but this time was different. The bosses, assistants, and the auction house staff made up nearly 300 people in the venue. It was absolutely shocking. Wang Yiping said with a smile, "It's hard to buy what you love with money. Everyone has their own preferences. I believe that all the bosses will definitely be able to buy what you love today, and half of the money you pay will be put into the charity fund. This will be a good deed that benefits the country and the people. On behalf of all the beneficiaries of the charity fund, I also express my gratitude to all the bosses." Most of the applause below the stage was from the assistants. As the bosses, they only wanted to see the good things as soon as possible. Otherwise, this trip would be in vain. Next, let's invite out our first auction item. Wang Yiping pointed proudly at the hostess. The hostess was holding a tray wrapped in red cloth with a carving that looked like a tree root on the tray. Because the client has instructed us, we will keep his identity a secret for the time being. Wang Yiping said, "The first auction item is a carving from the Ming Dynasty's Yongle period. It was carved out of red sandalwood, and was a collection of a first-rank minister. It is said that it has the effect of blessing promotion and wealth. It is definitely a priceless treasure. Bosses who like it must seize this opportunity. The starting price of this item is 800,000 yuan, and the increment is 50,000 yuan. As soon as Wang Yiping finished speaking, someone raised his hand. It was Fatty Chung. 850,000 yuan. Boss number 83 bids 850,000 yuan. Before Wang Yiping could say anything, another person raised his hand. 900,000 yuan. Boss number 47 bids 900,000 yuan. Anyone else? 950,000 yuan. Boss number 12, 950,000 yuan. Oh, 1 million yuan, 1 million yuan. Boss number 83 bids again, 1 million yuan. Wang Yiping's eyes swept through everyone very quickly. Not a single movement in the venue could escape his eyes. It seemed that Guo Tiancheng really liked this old tree root. He raised the signboard at the right time. He had raised the signboard twice in such a short time. 5 million. Luo Huafeng directly opened his mouth. He didn't raise the price by 50 or 50,000. He directly raised the price by 500,000. No one knew if he wanted to show off his wealth or if he really wanted this thing. Ma San'er whispered into Su Yun's ear. Brother Yun, this thing is already priced at this price. Any more, and even if it's for charity, it would be foolish. This thing was worth 1 million at most. Luo Huafeng's purchase is equivalent to donating 500,000 yuan. Should I donate more? Su Yun wasn't here to find treasures. He was here to do charity. Since this thing was worth 1 million yuan, he would pay 200 yuan. This way, the person who donated it wouldn't suffer a loss. He would just treat it as donating 1 million yuan to charity. 1 million was a large number to Su Yun, but to Sky Entertainment Group, it was nothing. It was not even worth mentioning, not even a drop in the ocean. Are you serious, brother? Ma San'er was stunned. It seemed that Su Yun's purpose here wasn't the same as the others. He was here to donate some money. But before Su Yun raised his signboard, Guo Tiancheng was unhappy. He felt that Luo Huafeng was targeting him. F***CK, isn't he just the boss of a heavy industry? What's so great about him? He's looking down on me, a rice seller. Guo Tiancheng was furious when he thought of this. Fine, you want to compete with me? Then let's try it. The mentality of a nouveau riche was different from others. Once he was unhappy, he would use his money to smash the other party to death. 3 million yuan. Guo Tiancheng doubled the price. Only a F***King nouveau riche could have this kind of aura. Guo Tiancheng's tone had a feeling of, who else can do it but me? It was quite mighty and domineering. Everyone present was shocked by Guo Tiancheng's aura. No one was blind. The bosses had also brought their assistants. To put it bluntly, everyone knew how much this thing was worth. No one would pay 3 million yuan for it. Only a fool would want it. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. If he were to speak again, it wouldn't be charity anymore. It would be a feud. Luo Huafeng also looked at Guo Tiancheng. He smiled and clasped his hands. It seemed that he had admitted defeat. Guo Tiancheng was very proud. Of course he felt proud. He had won the first auction item, and even gave him a chance to show off his wealth. Let's see who dares to look down on him now. This was a common problem for nouveau riche. They always felt that others were looking down on them. They always felt that others were better than them. Even if others didn't mean that, they would still think so. Most nouveau riche were like this. 3 million yuan. Boss number 83 bid 3 million yuan. Wang Yiping said excitedly. Are there any other bids? 3 million yuan going once. 3 million yuan going twice. 3 million yuan sold. This was really a good start. Other than Guo Tiancheng, who thought that everyone else was impressed by his wealth, the others didn't think so. They all thought that this guy was crazy. It wasn't worth it to spend 3 million on something like this. Those who had money to burn were crazy. Auction item number 2. Wang Yiping's interest was also aroused. As the second hostess came on stage, Wang Yiping began to explain again. There was no doubt that these things were good. Ma San'er could easily estimate the price for Su Yun. There would be some small competition for every item. Su Yun came in the spirit of charity. He also bid for an old Nishan inkstone. Inkstones were indispensable for the 4 treasures of the study. Sage Master Confucius was born in Nishan Confucius Cave, so this Nishan inkstone must have spiritual energy. Although he spent 1 million yuan to buy this antique inkstone that Ma San'er said was worth 350,000 yuan, Su Yun was still very satisfied. Because Guo Tiancheng wasn't the only nouveau riche in the venue, unexpected things could happen at any time during the auction. Su Yun kept waiting for the 3-colored Tang King that Wang Yi mentioned. Finally, Su Yun saw hope when Wang Yiping introduced the 9th auction item. The item was covered by a layer of gauze. The hostess carefully placed the item on the auction table. This auction item is amazing. Wang Yiping's saliva flew everywhere. Everyone must have heard of Tang tricolor. There are all kinds of tricolor, all kinds of high-end and classy. And this time, our 9th auction item is the most high-end and classy Tang tricolor in history. 3-colored Tang King. The 3-colored Tang King was finally here. Su Yun narrowed his eyes. Ma San'er also held his breath. This thing was absolutely amazing. His heart was pounding at this moment. How could he not be nervous and excited? The moment to witness a miracle. No, it was the moment to witness history. The gauze of the three-colored Tang King was removed, revealing its true appearance. It was quite a perfect work of art. In terms of luster and image, it was definitely a work of art with full marks. However, the historical value of this thing was even higher. It represented the level of craftsmanship of an era. Ma Sanner's brows wrinkled. There was something wrong with this thing. Chapter 1201. This tricolored Tang King is definitely a rare treasure. I don't think I need to say more about how valuable this thing is. Every boss knows better than me. Wang Yiping said. The owner of this item has also patted his chest. There is only one tricolored Tang King in the world. After that, Wang Yiping said passionately, the starting price is 10 million. 5 million going once on the stairs. As soon as he said that, a bunch of people raised their hands. In an instant, Wang Yiping's eyes couldn't take it all. After all, there were too many people at this auction. It was the auction with the most people he had ever organized in his life. Suddenly, there were so many people asking for a price. It wasn't appropriate for him to point to anyone. 30 million. Finally, someone helped Wang Yiping out of his predicament. This time, it was Guo Tiancheng who suppressed the crowd. He patted his big belly and seemed satisfied with his bid. 35 million. This time, it seemed that someone didn't agree with Guo Tiancheng pretending to be a rich man. They quietly increased the price. The first bid was 5 million. Even these bosses felt the pinch. Their money wasn't picked up from the ground. It was earned through hard work. Guo Tiancheng thought for a while. 40 million. Luo Huafeng, who was not far away from Guo Tiancheng, spoke again to go against Guo Tiancheng. 45 million. After stating the price, Luo Huafeng glanced at Guo Tiancheng. It was as if he was saying, brother, I'm sorry. I also want this thing, so I can't let you have it. The tree root from before doesn't matter. But this treasure can't be taken away by you so easily. There was always someone better. As soon as Luo Huafeng's voice fell, before Guo Tiancheng spoke again, someone else spoke. 50 million. It seemed that this thing was really a hot item. It was still the same sentence. No boss was a fool. They all knew the value of this thing. It was the one and only tricolored Tang King in the world. The value of this thing couldn't be calculated with tens of millions, right? There were so many rich people. Ma Sanner cursed in his heart. But why were these rich people so stupid? He hadn't even seen the item in person. It was only because it was an auction house that items with an appraisal certificate would be put up for sale. However, shouldn't such a valuable item be suspicious? Shouldn't such a valuable item be worth careful consideration? Shouldn't he take a good look at such a valuable item before making an offer? Adding 50 million as soon as he opened his mouth. Did he really think he was burning money like paper money? Brother Yin, there's something wrong with this thing. Ma Sanner could not let Su Yin fall for this trick. The smell of this thing was not right. He could not smell the smell of the underground. If this thing was not dug out from the ground, then there was an even bigger problem. If it was really a treasure, it had been exposed in the outside world for so long, and only now surfaced. It was too strange. This thing could only have just appeared, and if it had just appeared, it should have that special smell. Ma Sanner was very serious and solemn. At this critical moment he didn't believe in anything but his nose. What's the problem? Su Yin said lightly. While the two of them were talking, the price of the item had already reached 70 million. Although there was a pause between each bid increase, it did not stop. What did that mean? It meant that this thing was very attractive. Anyone would be attracted by such a huge attraction. I can't say, but I feel that something is wrong with this thing. Ma Sanner said. It doesn't have the smell it should have. So you mean I shouldn't buy it? Su Yin asked. Ma Sanner nodded. Of course not. I'm puzzled. Don't those people feel that there's something wrong with this thing? It's going to reach 100 million soon. It's a bit crazy to bet 100 million on its authenticity. 100 million. Su Yin suddenly raised the number plate in his hand and shouted the crazy price that Ma Sanner said. Damn. The audience was in an uproar. 70 million jumped to 100 million without any hesitation. The boss of Sky Entertainment Group was really extraordinary. While the audience was in an uproar, Ma Saner almost jumped out of his chair. Wasn't this asking to be slaughtered? 100 million? That's crazy. But under the gaze of everyone present, Ma Saner couldn't say anything. He could only suppress his resentment and suffocate himself to death. 150 million. As soon as Su Yun's voice fell, a low-key voice called out the price. Although it was only an increase of 5 million, it still made everyone look over. Although this voice was low-key, 5 million was on top of 100 million. It was not something that everyone could afford. Guo Tiancheng suddenly felt that he paled in comparison. Why did these people speak so casually? He always thought that he didn't care about money. But this time he was convinced. He finally understood what it meant to be awesome. After everyone's gaze shifted, Ma Saner quickly whispered into Su Yun's ear. Brother Yin, are you crazy? 100 million? What kind of treasure do you think this is? Believe me, there's definitely something wrong with this thing. It's true. If I lie, I'm a bastard. Don't take it. If you take it, you'll lose it. Once there was an appraisal report for this thing. So what if it was fake? People who didn't know anything would still buy it. This was a strange thing, but it was true. Don't worry. No matter how much I bid, someone will definitely bid 5 million more. Su Yun faintly smiled and glanced at the bidder from the corner of his eyes. Before Ma Saner could ask why, he bid again. 120 million. He wanted to vomit blood. Guo Tiancheng, the big rice king, really wanted to vomit blood. How much rice did he have to sell to earn that much? Being in the entertainment industry was all about making money. Moreover, it was easy money. He could easily add 10 or 20 million without batting an eye. As expected, Su Yun didn't disappoint Ma Saner. After he bid, the other party immediately added another 5 million. He was still calm and collected, not even a little bit ambiguous. Su Yun was now well aware of the other party's intentions. He definitely wouldn't give in. Ma Saner widened his eyes and quickly grabbed Su Yun's wrist. He signaled Su Yun to stop messing around with this guy. If he wanted to be scammed, then let him be scammed himself. 150 million. Su Yun bid again. He didn't give Ma Saner a chance to stop him. Ma Saner felt a sharp pain in his heart. F***ck, forget it. I don't care who it is. The price was quickly raised to 255 million. The scene was dead silent. The auctioneer didn't say anything either. He just watched the two of them compete with each other. This was really the most amazing charity auction he had ever hosted in his life. Finally, Su Yun stopped bidding. It was about time. He had confirmed what he needed to confirm. Seeing that Su Yun didn't open his mouth again, Ma Saner breathed a sigh of relief. Then he scolded Su Yun a few times in his heart. He thought that when Su Yun took the thing, he would regret it to death. By then, he wouldn't even have a place to cry. 255 million, going once. Wang Yiping looked at Su Yun as he hammered the hammer. Su Yun didn't react. Wang Yiping then continued. Going twice, going thrice. Sold. F***ck. Sold. An auction item worth more than 200 million. Wow, who is that? He's so awesome. Does he think money is money? That's right, that's right. Even Chairman Su of the Sky Entertainment Group couldn't stop them. This is too cruel. He's really rich. That's incredible. 255 million. For a moment, the entire venue began to discuss. Guo Tiancheng was aware of the gap between him and the truly rich guys, and he was no longer complacent. His little bit of money was indeed awesome in the eyes of ordinary people, but in front of the truly rich, it was still nothing more than a burst of dirt. Next up is our 10th auction item. The 3-colored Tang King ended the auction. However, the rest of the items still had to be auctioned. Chapter 1202. After the auction of the tricolored Tang King ended, Su Yun was a little absent-minded. He casually bought a few things that he liked and told Ma Saner that they were worth it. He had no intention of making money at all. Because of the tricolored Tang King incident, the other bosses had already seen Su Yun's wealth. Therefore, Su Yun easily won the next few items. Basically, not many people dared to compete with him. Those who really liked it only dared to shout a few times. As long as Su Yin continued to raise his paddle firmly, very few people would make him unhappy. And the person who competed with Su Yin for the tricolored Tang King did not bid for anything else. Even a fool could see that there was something fishy about this matter. That person is King sick in the head. Really? Ma San'er saw that Su Yin still cared about that guy. He comforted him. When he takes the item back, he will regret it. Out of stock, sick in the head. After scolding, Ma San'er indicated that he did not mean Su Yin. After all, Su Yin competed fiercely with that fool just now. Ma San'er said that guy was out of stock, which was basically saying that Su Yin was out of stock. That's not what I meant. I just said that there's something wrong with that person. Ma San'er explained symbolically. He did not care whether Su Yin was willing or not. Anyway, when he reminded him just now, he did not listen. He kept increasing the price. He was a little stupid. That person is indeed problematic. Ma San'er, help me keep an eye on him later. Su Yin said calmly. Try not to let him out of your sight. I'm afraid we'll have to follow him for a while. Ma San'er was stunned. He understood the first half of Su Yin's words. That guy was out of his mind. But Ma San'er did not understand the second half. Why would they have to follow him for a while? Could it be that he didn't manage to take down that problematic tricolored Tang King and had to follow up and kill that person? Brother, it can't be that serious, right? Ma San'er felt that his head was about to explode. Are you serious? Fight him to the death. Su Yin lowered his voice and said, Do you think that this guy is really crazy to fight me to the death for such a problematic thing? Even if he's sick, do you really think I'm sick? You've already said that there's something wrong with this thing, yet I'm still willing to pay more than 200 million? Do I have too much money to burn? Are you testing him? Ma San'er suddenly realized. Su Yin glanced at Ma San'er and signaled him not to be so agitated. He didn't want others to notice that something was wrong with him. Ma San'er lowered his head next to Su Yin and said in a voice so low that even he could barely hear himself. You already knew that there was something wrong with this thing? You're here to look for trouble, right? Is it your own business again, or is it a mission assigned to you by the organization? It's the organization's arrangement. Su Yin also said in the same voice. Ma San'er snorted. Since it's the organization's arrangement, you have to apply for some service fees for me later. I'm helping you out of friendship. I can't help your organization for free, right? At least give me some money for smoking and drinking. I've delayed business for 2 days. If I'm not careful, I might lose a few million. You really dare to ask for too much? Su Yin said. Aren't you afraid that the organization will also put you on the wanted list? Oh. Ma San'er was speechless. Isn't this threat too deliberate? Finally, the auction ended after 2 hours. The successful bidders had someone come forward to sign the contract. After signing, they had to pay the money within 5 days. In the blink of an eye, when Su Yin finished signing and turned around, the person who bought the tricolored Tang King was already gone. The contract was prepared and the staff member who was supposed to sign it was facing the empty seat, waiting foolishly. Su Yin didn't have time to explain to Ma San'er and directly rushed over. Ma San'er was so shocked that he didn't recover for a long time. What's going on now? Sigh, there's no end to this. Su Yin walked in front of the staff member and grabbed the contract of the tricolored Tang King. Where is he? The staff member also knew that Sky Entertainment CEO Su didn't buy the tricolored Tang King and was angry. He didn't dare to offend him and helplessly smiled. CEO Su, the Mr. you're looking for went to the washroom. Which washroom? Su Yin quickly asked. This. The staff member was a little embarrassed. Is CEO Su looking for trouble because he didn't buy the item and lost face? We only have one washroom here. Su Yin didn't care so much. He and Ma San'er didn't notice in the blink of an eye, and the other party actually disappeared. Su Yin didn't stop and directly ran to the washroom of the auction house. He definitely couldn't let that guy escape. The organization hadn't given him any tasks for so long. Now that Wang Yi had given him such a small task, if he messed it up again, he really wouldn't have the face to go back. Su Yin hurriedly ran to the washroom, but at this moment, the building was already empty. There was no CEO at all. F***ck. Su Yin fiercely cursed. This son of a bitch, don't let me catch you. As expected, he ran away after winning the bid. How unscrupulous. Su Yin, who was in a bad mood, didn't have any emotions. When the auction house found out that CEO Du ran away without signing the contract, they were also angry. If those auction houses ran away, then they ran away. This charity auction also ran away. Since you don't have the money to pay, then don't bid. When you bid, you act like a boss. No one is as bad *SS as you. Now that it's time to pay, you don't say anything. What is this? I really don't know what this person's brain is thinking. What kind of person is CEO Du? Su Yin believed that the auction house had information. Originally, these things couldn't be said in the auction house, but when it came to such an unscrupulous person, the auction house didn't have any scruples. CEO Su, you aren't going to talk to him, right? The auction house staff member said. Of course I have to talk to him. Su Yin sneered. He snatched it from me, but in the end he didn't want it. I can't buy it even if I wanted to. If I don't talk to him, how can I take this lying down? The staff of the auction house had been waiting for Su Yin to say this. Yes. Director Su is right. We really need to talk to Director Du about this. Isn't it obvious that he's going against you and trying to scam you? Can this fanning of the flames be any more obvious? Su Yin was too lazy to bother with him. He just signaled him to tell him the information about CEO Du as soon as possible. 10 minutes later, Su Yin got the information about CEO Du Tian, mingling in the Beijing and Tianjin circles, was doing well in the real estate industry. Although the real estate industry was slightly declining in the past 2 years, with their efforts to turn the tide, they were able to ensure that the housing prices didn't fall. The information that Su Yin got was very detailed. It included the company's address and even the home address. The auction house gave him 3 addresses, saying that these were the 3 places he frequented the most. Those in the real estate industry definitely didn't lack houses. He probably raised children in these 3 places, so he frequented them. This auction house's information was really detailed. Su Yin clicked his tongue in praise. Amazing. Fortunately, they were careful. Otherwise, if they really gave him more than 100 addresses, he would run around until his legs broke. Ma Sanner knew that this was definitely not a small matter. Otherwise, Su Yin wouldn't be in such a hurry to find someone. Of course, Su Yin still wanted the things he bought. After he signed, he immediately called Ruan Qingshuang and asked him to transfer the money directly. The matter was quickly over. The auction house staff kept saying, CEO Su is still straightforward, and sent Su Yin out. Su Yin and Ma Sanner first brought back the few good auction items they bought back to Panjiayuan. Ma Sanner entered the shop and saw traces of fighting. He immediately began to look for traces of damage. Su Yin directly put the few things he bought today on his table. Pick one of these things that you like. Take it as your compensation and reward. How about it? Helping the organization doesn't treat you badly, right? Chapter 1203. You know this Du Tian, right? Su Yin threw the information on Du Tian that the auction house gave him on the table. Ma Sanner nodded his head. I've heard of him. Yu Garden was developed by him, but I didn't expect him to look so young. He can be considered young and promising. Yanjing's housing prices being so high, this Du Tian's contribution can't go unnoticed. Su Yin frowned. Are you praising him for being young and promising? Or are you saying that he's also a sinner? Raising the housing prices so high, isn't he afraid that his ancestors won't be able to live peacefully in the underworld? This might be hereditary. Maybe his ancestors also raised the housing prices in the King of Hell's territory. The 18th floor of Hell is probably the 18th ring. The first 17th floor is reserved by the rich for their sons and grandsons. The poor can only go to the 18th ring after they die. Ma Sanner made a horrifying analogy. When I go back, I'll burn some paper money for my dad, get a few 100 trillion, all of them euros, and get him to get me a set in the 2nd ring. Su Yin helplessly smiled. Tonight, I'm going to meet this Du Tian. Help me find someone to ask around and see where he's most likely to go. The information given by the auction house was given by them. I still trust you more. Just because of what you said, I'll immediately go and do it for you. Ma Sanner patted his chest and said, Finding someone in Yanjing wasn't difficult for him, Ma San'er. Moreover, it was such a well-known person, so it was too easy, just a few phone calls. Suyun's heart relaxed a lot. As long as he found the person, everything would be easy. Originally, he didn't plan to go openly, but Du Tian ran away so quickly. According to normal people's thinking, if Suyun didn't go and talk to him, it would be more suspicious. Suyun didn't go and find Du Tian to directly expose him as a suspect of participating in the counterfeiting, but to ask him, why did you snatch it from him and then don't want it? This way, Du Tian wouldn't have any suspicions. Moreover, Du Tian would think that Suyun really wanted this tricolored Tang King. Perhaps, Du Tian would even find a way to sell this thing to him. This way, Suyun would be able to dig out Du Tian's entire contact network and capture them all in one fell swoop. Now everything was handed over to Ma San'er to arrange. Suyun had to organize his words and prepare to fish for information tonight. Ma San'er spent the whole afternoon investigating Du Tian thoroughly. He even knew which mistress he liked to look for every day. As a real estate developer, he did not lack houses. Even if these houses were empty, they would be empty anyway. Raising a few girls could be considered as making use of them. Recently, this grandson has been staying in the Yew Garden district that he developed. Because the property market is unstable, he has been keeping it under wraps. He has a lot of spare time in his house, so he has a few mistresses. Ma San'er said, I have a friend who wants a house in the Yew Garden. He regrets it every day. He said that the house's waterproofing is very bad. When he bathes upstairs, his house leaks. For the past month or so, he has always seen Du Tian go to the building in the middle of the Yew Garden. The building in the middle has never been opened. Every time he goes there, only the top floor has lights on. Everything else is dark. Suyun nodded. This means that as long as the lights on the top floor of the building in the middle of the Yew Garden are on at night, it means that Du Tian is there. Do you want to go with me tonight? Can I go? Ma San'er was stunned. Isn't this the mission given to you by the organization? It's not good for me to get involved in this matter, right? What's not good about it? It's fine. The organization said that I will handle the outside matters myself. Suyun. Moreover, I have already represented the organization to give you the right to choose my treasures. Don't you think you should pay more? Ma San'er chuckled. No problem. This is just a small matter. Isn't it just going to meet an idiot? It's not a big deal. Moreover, I'll just take it as going there to see if the body of his mistress is big or not. Don't you already have a marriage partner? Is that all you've got? Suyun was speechless. 11 o'clock was not late for the night in Beijing. However, it was really late for the Yew Garden, which was a residential area that did not have many houses. The location of this residential area was not bad. The greenery in the residential area was also not bad. However, the price was too high. It was already considered good if the occupancy rate was at most 5%. Therefore, when it was 11 o'clock at night, it was rather quiet. Those who were supposed to sleep had already gone to bed. Only the occasional roar of passing cars could be heard. Suyun and Ma San'er arrived at the residential area. The security guard did not even ask and let them in. The light on the top floor of the building in the middle was indeed on. Suyun and Ma San'er casually found a place to park their car, and directly went to the top floor. They did not know if they would disturb the two of them if they came at this time. However, there was really no suitable time. If they came early, Du Tian might not be able to come back. The elevator quickly arrived at Du Tian's door. Ma San'er strode forward and slammed the door a few times. Although there was no sound in the room, they could see light through the peephole. Ma San'er increased the strength of his palm and slapped the door a few more times. The anti-theft door made clanking sounds. Soon a woman's voice was heard from the room. Who is it? It's so late. Can't you let me sleep? When Ma San'er heard the woman's soft voice, goosebumps appeared all over his body. When I heard this voice, I felt a sense of lust. Brother Yin, you have to control yourself later. I should be the one saying this to you. Suyun glared at Ma San'er, and then said to the person in the room. We have urgent matters to discuss with Chairman Du. The woman inside was complaining about something. The room's soundproofing was good, so they could not hear what the woman inside was complaining about. About 3 minutes later, the door opened. A woman with long hair and a pair of phoenix eyes looked at Su-yin and Ma Sanner at the door with a flirtatious look. She said coldly, "What can't you say over the phone? Don't you know Chairman Du is not feeling well these few days? Why are you here in the middle of the night? Are you crazy? The matter is too important, so I have to apologize." Su-yin pushed the door open with a smile. This woman on the outside was not ordinary. She clearly heard a man coming, but she was still wearing pajamas, revealing a large part of her snow-white chest. In the room, the sound of water splashing could be heard from the bathroom. It seemed that Du Tian was taking a bath, and this woman was here. It was not the first time that she received Du Tian's subordinates when he was taking a bath. "Which project department are you from?" The woman that Du Tian kept looked to be about 25 or 26 years old. Ma Sanner stared at her snow-white chest for a while. He really wanted to teach this girl a lesson. She was not ugly, and her career was quite deep. If she went out and found a proper job, she would definitely be able to do well. Did she have to serve a married man here? Su-yin smiled slightly. "I am not from any project department, and I am not one of Chairman Du's people. Chairman Du and I can be considered friends." Friends were friends. How could they be considered friends? This woman did not understand what Su-yin meant. Du Tian, who was taking a bath, heard the voice outside and shouted loudly, "Who is it? What time is it? Can't you let me sleep?" Su-yin and Ma Sanner were startled when they heard this voice. They were both smart people. They did not need to say much. They could communicate with their eyes. That's right, the two of them realized a problem. This Du Tian who was taking a bath was different from the voice at the auction in the afternoon. Could it be that they made a mistake? That's impossible. "Chairman Du. That Du Tian?" Su-yin asked. The woman put her hands on her waist. "If it's not that Du Tian, who else can it be? Who are you people?" Chapter 1204. Damn, they aren't even the same person, okay? Although the Du Tian from the afternoon and this Du Tian looked similar, they were definitely not the same person. Although this Du Tian was also around 34 or 35 years old, his stomach was a full size bigger than the previous Du Tian. His hair was also shorter, and his scalp could be vaguely seen. The most obvious difference was the bruise on this guy's face, and the obvious rope marks on his arms and wrists. It was very glaring. There was also a very light-colored Buddha tattoo on his arm, and a palm-sized jade guanyin on his neck. Ma Sanner muttered in his heart. This Du Tian was pretty fancy. He only lived with an outside woman for a month and he was abused to this extent? What were they doing at night? It was too much. No matter what, Du Tian was still a reputable person. If this was seen, wouldn't he be afraid of being laughed at? Su-yin also admired this awesome person. His taste was really heavy. It was definitely heavy to the point that he didn't have any friends. "Who are you?" Du Tian clearly didn't have a good impression of these two people that he didn't know at all. He originally thought that they were one of his construction project managers who had urgent matters to report. Now that it wasn't them, Du Tian, who was in a bad mood, couldn't accept it. "You are Du Tian?" Su-yin was still able to keep his cool. Ma Sanner wanted to point at Du Tian a few times and ask him who was the person who went to the auction house in the morning. "I am." Du Tian acted like a king. "Why are you looking for me? What's the matter?" Su-yin realized that there was definitely a problem. "Director Du, I think we might have some misunderstanding. I'm really sorry to disturb you so late. We will leave now. Please stay." Ma Sanner felt that he was losing face. They clearly didn't find the wrong place and didn't find the wrong person, but he wasn't the person they were looking for. "Don't you think this is infuriating?" When the two got up and prepared to leave, Du Tian said with a sullen face, Where do you think my house is? You can come and go as you wish. Since you're looking for me, Du Tian, and I'm here. What's wrong with looking for me?" "You're really looking for the wrong person." Ma Sanner impatiently waved his hand. "You're not the Du Tian we're looking for." "Pa." Du Tian slammed his palm on the table. "Then I really need to ask around. Other than me, who else is there in Yanjing City?" You can leave if you want, but this isn't a place where you can come and go as you please. Kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times before you scram. How could Du Tian, who was already in a bad mood, allow 2 strangers to casually enter his house? Moreover, his little darling was wearing so little. Her snow-white chest had already been seen by them. What did you say? When Ma Sanner heard this, he was stunned. Mr. Du, we already said that we found the wrong person. It's a misunderstanding. What's wrong? Can't I explain properly? Do you really have to do something? You better be fucking polite when you talk to me. Who's talking to you? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? Are you qualified to talk to me, Du Tian? Du Tian glared. If you don't do as I say, don't blame. Quang Dang. Su Yin didn't wait for Du Tian to finish his words, and directly stomped the marble coffee table in Du Tian's living room into pieces. The huge sound made Du Tian swallow the rest of her words back into her stomach. But he quickly recovered and pointed at Su Yun's nose and scolded. You want to be unreasonable, right? Fine, fine. Come on then. Let me see how much ability you have. You dare to challenge me. As Du Tian scolded, he took out his phone and dialed a number. Who in the real estate business didn't have people under their hands? Not to mention that these thugs were indeed useful in many situations. They were also very pretentious when they went out. The person who answered Du Tian's phone call was Shin Chin. He could be regarded as the most powerful thug under Du Tian. Otherwise, Du Tian wouldn't give him a house and a car. Moreover, the house was a 170 square meter DC residence, and the car was a 50 Audi A6. What's the concept of a 170 square meter house in Yanjing City? He couldn't even hold a few million. Shin Chen lived in the U Garden. When he received Du Tian's phone call, he immediately put on his clothes and rushed over with his men. Du Tian relied on Shin Chen's close proximity and ruthlessness, so he was fearless. Originally, he had experienced a lot of things, so when he encountered 2 people causing trouble at home, he really didn't care. When Shin Chen comes later, let's see how these 2 guys regret it. What kind of person was Shin Chen? Du Tian knew too well. He was the kind of person who could feed the whole family. His father sentenced him to death before he was born. His mother ran away with another man after giving birth to him. Her whereabouts were still unknown. This guy hated society since he was young. He was the kind of person who had a strong sense of revenge. When he was 8 years old, he used a knife. When he was 16, he dared to beat people with a gun. When he was 22, he began to follow Du Tian. In just 5 years, he had done many big things for Du Tian. He couldn't remember how many enemies he had defeated. Du Tian gave him a house, gave him a car, and let him live like a middle-class person. That was because he was valuable. There were too many bad things on the construction site. If Du Tian didn't have someone like Shin Chen, it would definitely be impossible. It could be said that Du Tian's real estate business had advanced by leaps and bounds in recent years, and it was inseparable from Shin Chen's credit. Shin Chen sold his life. Du Tian was the only person he had met in his life who was good to him. Du Tian never looked down on him because he didn't have parents, nor did he look down on him because he didn't have anything. Instead, he gave him a lot of room to play. This allowed him to reach the sky in one step, and become a person that many people envied. This was the life that he, Shin Chen, wanted. Du Tian could give it to him, so he had to sell his life to Du Tian. He was willing. Selling one's life was also a profession. After Du Tian finished the phone call, he had an expression of "you wait for me." The woman beside him also had an impatient look. She seemed to be blaming these 2 people for ruining their mood, but she also seemed to be flirting with Su Yin. Anyway, it was very awkward. Mr. Du, a misunderstanding is a misunderstanding. We should go first. Su Yin said. I really don't want to make a big deal out of this. I just hope you can understand. Understand your ass. Du Tian felt that Su Yin was afraid and didn't dare to provoke him, so he became even more arrogant. You dare to come but don't dare to take responsibility? F***ck, you even F***king smash my coffee table. Kid, today Grandpa Du will let you know that you have to keep a low profile. The person who should keep a low profile is you, right? Su Yin was a little speechless. He realized that he had found the wrong person. He had been trying his best to avoid conflict. Du Tian was the one who was unreasonable. Originally, Suyin wanted to teach him a lesson and let this matter pass. Who would have thought that Du Tian would call for help? Let me make it clear. You won't be able to leave today. My men are in this neighborhood. They will be there soon, Du Tian said proudly. Indeed, Shenchen wasn't the only one living in this neighborhood. However, he only needed to call Shenchen. Shenchen would naturally contact the others. Shenchen made 2 calls while he was putting on his clothes. After all, there were only 2 people in Du Tian's house. Moreover, he had a gun with him. He wasn't afraid that the other party would cause trouble. He even felt that he could settle this matter himself. Calling 2 more people was just to give Du Tian more face. Shenchen knew that Du Tian wanted face. Just like how Du Tian understood him, Shenchen wanted status and dignity. This was a complimentary thing. If you give me something, I will naturally give you something back. Shenchen was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he had brought Earbook and Old 7 to Du Tian's house. This kid thought things through very clearly. He let Earbook and Old 7 use the elevator while he took the stairs. There was no chance for the other party to take advantage of this. Chapter 1205. To be honest, Suyin did not expect that Du Tian's phone call would cause someone to break into his house so quickly. As soon as Shenchen entered the room, Du Tian became even more confident. He stood up with a bang, pointed at Suyin's nose and began to scold. Brat, aren't you very stubborn? Today, I will give you a good lecture. Breaking into my house in the middle of the night and smashing my furniture? Get your people to give me 100,000 yuan before you leave. Otherwise, don't even think about walking out. Breaking Du Tian's tea table with a single kick was indeed Suyin's impulse. Just now, he had no place to vent his anger. Suyin wasn't targeting Du Tian, but the guy who tricked them. When Du Tian was angry, Suyin naturally could not hold back and became irritable. Suyin did not have the time to argue with them. He also did not want to complicate matters. Manager Du, I will give you 5,000 yuan for your coffee table. It should be enough. If it's more, I will buy you 2 cigarettes. If it's less, I will treat it as a meal. We are all trying to make a living in this society. It's better to have more friends than more enemies. Who are you? You want to be friends with me? Du Tian did not recognize this. Ma Sanner was about to explode, but when he saw Shenchen's bulging waist, he knew that this guy was carrying a weapon. He did not dare to speak out. Anyway, Suyin was here. He would be stupid if he spoke out. Shenchen was a little surprised. These 2 faces, one was unfamiliar, and the other seemed to be familiar. But how could they be related to Du Tian's hatred? They couldn't possibly raise their necks and start a fight just because they had gone to the wrong place. Manager Du, what's the situation? Shenchen could not help but interrupt. Who the F***ck knows what's the situation? These 2 bastards came into my house in the middle of the night. Even if they came, they could not say anything. Du Tian was still angry. 100,000 yuan, and this matter is over. Let me tell you, I, Du Tian, am not the kind of person who cares about money. What I care about is face. Ma Sanner cursed in his heart. Mother ***, you call this not caring about money? If you don't care about money, then don't ask. Suyin reached into Ma Sanner's pocket and took out his wallet. He roughly looked at it and found that there were still 5,000 yuan inside. He didn't count it and directly took it out. More or less this is it. You're slapping my face. Do you think I, Du Tian, am a fucking beggar? Du Tian was enraged on the spot. If you don't have money, then leave me a hand. Since CEO Du had already given the order, what else could Shenchen say? He immediately called for Earbook and Laoqi to join in. Given Earbook and Laoqi's standards, even Ma Sanner might not be able to control them. Shenchen naturally approached Suyin directly. This guy was the leader, so he had to convince him first before talking about money. The second after Du Tian gave the order, Shenchen directly took out an imitation 54 hidden behind his waist and strode toward Suyin. Ordinary people would be stunned for at least 2 seconds when they saw a gun. Who wouldn't be afraid of death? Not to mention these people who used real guns in society. Even if an ordinary person took out a toy gun in front of ordinary people, Most people wouldn't be able to take it. Those who were brave would cover their heads and run away, while those who were timid would be so scared that they would wet their pants. However, Su Yin was different. His reaction was even more ferocious than those who mixed in society. Among those who mixed in society, those who had courage would at most not admit defeat in front of a gun. However, there was absolutely no one who would face a gun head-on. Everyone knew that there were many reckless people in society now, and there were also many people who didn't care about their lives. There were at least tens of thousands of people in Huaxia who were chopped up every day. Every day, there would be people who had their heads cut open in the hospital's external trauma department, and there were people who had their thighs and arms cut open. It was very normal. Moreover, there were too many people who used guns now. Even if the country's surveillance was very strict and the red headings were very strict, it couldn't be stopped once it was handed down. The police department always took away guns as a formality. Those who were really caught with guns usually didn't dare to shoot or show it to others. Those who really dared to play with guns, no one dared to take them. If the relevant departments really wanted to catch them, they would directly ask the police to go to the headquarters of each construction site and check if the car belonged to the development boss's follower. They would directly open the trunk. If they couldn't find anything illegal, then it was absolutely strange. More than 80% of them would find guns. If there were only restrictions on knives, then it could only mean that the boss wasn't doing well. He couldn't even afford to equip his brothers with guns. It would be a shame if word got out. In the face of the gun that Shinchen pointed at him, Su Yin stepped forward to meet it. The reason was simple. When fighting with people with guns, the farther you ran, the more you would become a live target for them to aim at. On the contrary, the closer you were to him, the more he couldn't shoot you. He would also panic. What if you shot him with a knife? Shinchen didn't expect that the other party would step forward. Even though he was a veteran, he was still stunned for a moment. In that instant, Shinchen really didn't come back to his senses. The fake 54 in his hand was already in the other party's hand. Moreover, the other party dismantled the imitation 54 as if it were a toy. In just a few moments, the imitation 54 was broken into pieces. This technique, this speed, it was obvious that he was a professional at first glance. Su Yin didn't make a move at all, nor did he say anything. His simple movements shocked Shinchen. This guy is 2F** king abnormal. F***ck. Go. It wasn't that Du Tian didn't see it, but he didn't feel afraid because of it. After all, this kind of thing wasn't done by him. He didn't feel the danger, and didn't have to worry about internal bleeding. He also didn't have to worry about his arms and legs being broken. These things weren't done by him as the boss. He only needed to be his own boss and give orders. Shinchen was the one doing the hard work. Shinchen gritted his teeth. He absolutely couldn't let Du Tian lose face. Even if he had to risk everything today, he couldn't let the other party go so easily. He didn't hesitate to take out the sharp dagger tied to his calf and ruthlessly stabbed it toward Su Yun's heart. This stab was really stable, accurate, and ruthless. It was straightforward and didn't hesitate at all. It was a fatal stab. Even though the stab was so sudden, Su Yin still grasped the opportunity and grabbed Shinchen's wrist. He used the empty-handed blade snatching and snatched the dagger from Shinchen's hand. The next second, the dagger slit Shinchen's neck. On the other side, Ma San'er had also easily dealt with Air Bao and Old Seven. When he saw Brother Yin slit his neck, he panicked. In an instant, there was a dead silence. He killed someone just like that? Wasn't it a little too sudden? Du Tian was stunned. The blood on Shinchen's neck was so shocking that it made one tremble in fear. The mistress beside him couldn't help but cover her eyes and scream. However, the occupancy rate of the Yu Garden was very low. There wasn't a second house on the floor above them. Hence, even if she screamed at the top of her lungs, no one would notice. Even if there were people, they would know that the top floor of this building was used by Du Tian to keep his mistress. They might even think that the two of them were having fun and were screaming excitedly. For a moment, Shinchen really thought that he was dead. The burning pain on his neck made him somewhat afraid to breathe. The dagger is really fast. Su Yin sneered and threw the dagger on the floor. Do you have to kill me for such a small matter? If you really want to play for real, That's fine too. Continue. I won't play around with you anymore. If you want me to die, you should think about how many lives I have. If your boss really cares about your life, he should give you a warning. Du Tian's Adam's apple moved, and he swallowed a mouthful of saliva. In the past, Shenchen was always the one who had the last laugh. This time it was actually the other way around. Chapter 1206. Shenchen had never submitted to anyone since he was young. He had always believed that as long as he was willing to risk his life, no one would be able to win against him. Whoever wanted to kill him would have to peel off a layer of his skin first. Due to the fear of death, Shenchen was never at a disadvantage when facing all kinds of hooligans. The more successful a person was, the more unwilling he was to risk his life with someone like him. If he died, he would be at a disadvantage. But this time, Shenchen was convinced. He believed that if the person in front of him wanted to kill him, he only needed to move his finger. In his current state, before he could even touch the person's sleeves with a knife and a gun, his neck had already been cut open. If the other party had been a little more ruthless and cut him a little deeper, he would have been lying on the floor with his neck bleeding. There was no chance for him to challenge the other party. Now that Shenchen had nothing in his hands, he couldn't possibly throw his life away, right? If his life could solve the problem, he would really accept it. He would treat it as repaying Du Tian for giving him a good life these few years. His life would be worth it. However, even if he sacrificed his life, it wouldn't solve the problem. At first, the other party didn't think of taking action, but now there was no turning back. Earbook and Old 7 had been overturned. He was the only one left who would die if he took action. I've said before that this is a misunderstanding. Chairman Du, I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but if you want to have fun, I will definitely accompany you. Really? Su Yin said. Du Tian felt as if there was a rag stuck in his chest. It smelled so bad that he couldn't breathe. However, he really didn't know how to answer because of his pride. If there's anything, you can take it out on me, Shenchen said. Even if I have to pay with my life, I won't blink. After saying that, Shenchen stood in front of Du Tian. He turned around and said to Du Tian, Chairman Du, today's matter is a misunderstanding. He looked at Du Tian with a firm gaze. Du Tian knew that he couldn't offend this person in front of him. No matter how unlucky Shenchen was, he couldn't stand up to someone who could kill him in seconds. What kind of people were they? Du Tian couldn't understand. What was going on today? He was beaten up by two strangers early in the morning, and then two people came to his house in the middle of the night. Misfortunes never come singly. If this person was unlucky, even drinking cold water would be damned. It's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. Du Tian had a stomach full of grievances. He had never lowered his head like this before. Brother, what's the situation? How is it a misunderstanding? Can you say something? Let me admit my defeat today wholeheartedly. Ma San'er pointed at Du Tian and said, Do you know who he is? Have you heard of Sky Entertainment Corporation? Sky Entertainment Group Su Yun. Director Su. What? Du Tian was really surprised. If he didn't say it, he wouldn't have known. Now that he said it, he was really shocked. Was this the legendary young and promising talent? Is this for real? There might have been a misunderstanding at a charity auction today. We mistook you for someone else, so we came to find Director Du. Ma San'er continued. We realized that we mistook you for someone else as soon as we arrived, but we can't do anything about it. We don't know what went wrong. What are you talking about? Du Tian's face changed color. What happened at the auction? Are you kidding? What do you mean? Wait, Director. Director Su, this is definitely not right. I didn't go to the auction. Su Yin nodded. Of course I know Director Du didn't go, because I didn't see Director Du at the auction. Su Yin had an impression of everyone who went to the auction today. This was his mission at the auction. What the F***ck did I do to her? Du Tian slapped his thigh. I went out early this morning. I didn't even see my brothers, but two people covered my head with a bag and beat me up. They gave me a good beating. Look at the bruises all over my body. It hurt so much. After they were done with me, they forced me to hand over the invitation to the charity auction to them. Su-yin was stunned. It seemed that things were quite complicated. I can't risk my life just because of an invitation. They're really trying to kill me. They almost strangled me to death. When Shin-chan and the rest rushed over, they had already run away. I spent the day in the hospital. When Du Tianyi talked about this morning's encounter, he was so angry that he couldn't vent his anger. He scolded with all his might. What the F***ck? What? Those two bastards even went to the auction with my invitation letter? If I knew, I would have stopped them directly. Kill them. Seeing Du Tian like this, he was really infuriated. From the looks of it, this matter was quite complicated. The other party was really meticulous. He had planned everything so thoroughly that even his identity was forged. But the Du Tian at the auction today looked similar to this Du Tian. Su-yin frowned. Other than beating you, what else did they do to you? I feel disgusted when I talk about it. They even put shit on my face. My face was scratched. Du Tian spat. I'm really F***king unlucky. I don't even know what immoral things I did. God is playing with me. Su-yin really wanted to ask him what immoral things he did. How many people in the real estate business weren't immoral? If they weren't immoral, how could they raise the price of the house? It must be a joke. Director Du, it seems that we were both played by them. Su-yin smiled bitterly. He promised Wang Yi that he wouldn't lose them, but he didn't expect to mess things up now. As the saying goes, when there is a common enemy, people's relationship will quickly become brothers. This saying wasn't false at all. Du Tian really treated Su-yin as a brother now. Brother Su. The two of us are fated to meet. As the saying goes, no discord, no concord. Du Tian took the initiative to say, we were both played by a grandson. You say, if we don't explain this matter, isn't it too unreasonable? Su-yin nodded. Yes, I must find this person. Why did he beat you too? Du Tian realized that he was talking nonsense after he said it. Looking at Su-yun's body, there was nothing on it. It was impossible for him to be beaten. Even if the other party wanted to beat him, it didn't seem so easy. It wasn't as simple as beating him up. We are not the same as you. Ma Sanner said. Director Du, since it's a misunderstanding, then we have talked about it. You also said that no discord, no concord. This matter is over. You should hurry up and let your brother go to the hospital. Don't go back and lose too much blood. Ma Sanner looked at the blood on Shin-chan's neck. He panicked and hurriedly reminded him. Shin-chan looked at Su-yin. Instead of holding a grudge, he looked at him with admiration. It's okay. Director Su's knife just made me remember. I will treat it as if I bought a necklace. Shin-chan said this with emotion. He used to be barefoot, so he wasn't afraid of anyone. But he was different now. He had followed Du Tian until now and had his own things. He had a house and a car. He was also a little famous in Yanjing City. His brothers in the society would give him some face after seeing him. His life was no longer as worthless as before. Today, if Su-yin didn't give him a knife, he always thought that his life was worthless and could be thrown out at any time for Du Tian. After this knife, he didn't think so anymore. So his admiration for Su-yin was incomprehensible to others. Chapter 1207. Du Tian saw that Shin-chan admired Su-yin very much. He was somewhat uncomfortable in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud. He could only cough lightly. That Chun manager Su is a person of status. You should pay attention to what you say. Shin-chan nodded and said seriously, Manager Du, I know. I'm not that particular. Su-yin said. Since we know each other, we're friends. Manager Du, I do owe you a favor today. If there's anything you need from me, Su-yin, I'll definitely help. How could Du Tian dare to challenge Su-yin? Let's not talk about Su-yun's heaven-defying martial prowess. Just his status was not on the same level as him. What kind of status was he? He was the big boss of Sky Entertainment Group. He had a bunch of A-list celebrities under him. The box office of a movie he made was enough to make as much money as he made from building a community. Moreover, he didn't have any psychological burden, and wasn't afraid of retribution. He was much better than him. If he wanted to be on the same level as Su-yin, he had to at least be the leader of the real estate industry. However, it wasn't that easy to be the leader. Those real estate bosses who lived like Buddhas in Huaxia were famous and rich. He only had a small name in the Beijing circle, and was at most a B-list celebrity. Being able to get an invitation to the charity auction wasn't entirely because of his strength. This was like the Forbes ranking. Those who were ranked were rich enough, but in the eyes of those who didn't care about it, they were considered middle class. There was always someone better. The auction house invited the bosses of the top 100 companies in the country. That was just to give them face. They were rich, but the auction house might not be able to invite them. They might not be interested in these things. Manager Su, since you said that, I, Du Tian, didn't become your friend for nothing. Du Tian said. I don't dare to ask Manager Su for help, but there's something I want to discuss with you. I definitely won't let go of the person who tricked us. What about you, Manager Su? Of course not. Su Yun smiled slightly. I really want to discuss this matter with President Du. Du Tian leaned his head over. Director Su, as long as it's within my power, I will do my best. If it's something I can't do, I will create the conditions to do it. I have to let that grandson who caused me trouble know that I, Du Tian, am not someone who can be provoked. Su Yun really needed Du Tian to do this. Mr. Du, you have a lot of connections in Beijing, and you have so many brothers. You're definitely better than me at finding people. Although Beijing is only the size of a palm, the population density is high. Finding someone is still like finding a needle in a haystack. Search. I'll look for him even if I have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Du Tian said, but I didn't see him clearly. The invitation was given to you by the auction house. Su Yin. In the end, it was someone else who went. The auction house didn't see through it, and that's their dereliction of duty. If you go to them, they definitely won't say anything. The auction house has surveillance cameras. How the other party came, how they left, what they look like, how many people they have, they will definitely be able to find out. Only if you go and ask for it, the auction house will cooperate. If it's anyone else, it won't work. Du Tian felt that it made sense. He nodded vigorously. Yes, I have to go personally. I have to ask them which eye they are blind in. Du Tian's bandit aura was quite serious. Su Yin really didn't know why a boss like him would still have such a big temper. He didn't know how to cultivate his body and mind at all. It was obvious that his body was hollowed out by alcohol and women. As long as we can find the surveillance cameras and identify the person, I believe that with Mr. Du and Brother Chen's connections, we will be able to find a way to solve this. Su Yin smiled. Finding someone was sometimes easy and sometimes difficult. It would be good if there were clues. However, this kind of thing really needed someone like Shen Chun who had a lot of connections in the society. Perhaps not many people in the upper class knew him, but there weren't many gangsters in Beijing who didn't know him. At this time, people like Shen Chun were needed. Hundreds of people from all walks of life were needed to find him. His brothers would give him face, so they would naturally do it with their hearts. It would definitely be more powerful than the police. Everyone knew better than the other how the police handled things these days. In the whole of Huaxia, how many stupid police, like Qin Waner, could there be? Mr. Su, don't worry. As long as the auction house pulls out the surveillance cameras, even if I have to turn Beijing upside down, I will definitely find the person for you. Shin Chen promised. Because his words were said to Su Yun, it provoked Du Tian's dissatisfaction. However, Du Tian still remained calm and said with a bit of a joke, You have made a military order for this matter. If you can't find the person, I will not forgive you. Yes, Mr. Du. Shin Chen was very clear that Du Tian was the person who gave him a chance when he was in the most difficult time. He owed him, so he still absolutely obeyed Du Tian's words. Mr. Du. Su Yun could see Du Tian's thoughts, so he originally wanted to say this to Shin Chen, but he still mentioned his name. The reason why he didn't say this to him was very simple. He certainly wouldn't risk his life. However, Shin Chen might be more impulsive. You are only responsible for finding the person. The rest is my business. Don't be impulsive. Even if you find the person, don't confront them directly. Du Tian was stunned for a moment. He originally thought that after finding the person, he would immediately let Shinchin take his brothers to chop that group of bastards into meat paste. Only then could he relieve the hatred in his heart. Shinchin was also stunned for a moment. This was out of his expectations. Su-yin naturally had his reasons for not letting them take action. We don't know who the other party is and what their purpose is. Su-yin. But what if it is a trap? So everyone should be careful. You are responsible for finding the person. I will solve the rest. If this is the case, we will cooperate. If not, then I won't implicate you. Mr. Su, we will listen to you. Shinchin agreed immediately. This guy was really honest. He didn't see the change in Du Tian's mentality at all. At this moment, Shinchin was acting like Su-yun's follower and not Du Tian's follower. How could Du Tian be comfortable? Okay, Chen, then you take Bao and Old Seven back first. Tomorrow morning, call a few more brothers to follow me to the auction house. Du Tian waved his hand. It was unknown whether he was really concerned about his follower's sleep, or was afraid that his follower would be too close to Su-yin. It's late. I will not disturb Mr. Du. Su-yin also stood up and said, I will leave my phone number with you. Let's contact tomorrow. Du Tian said enthusiastically. You don't want to sit for a while? Sit for a while and drink some tea. We regret that we didn't meet earlier. We have plenty of time in the future. Su-yin smiled. Let's rest early today. Both Mr. Du and I have something to do tomorrow. I am really sorry about today's matter. Don't mention it. Du Tian said generously. Ma San'er waited anxiously. All right, Mr. Du, please wait. We're leaving. Shinchin hurriedly said. Mr. Du, I will send Mr. Su off for you. What are you talking about? Du Tian stared. Mr. Su, how can I not send him off personally? Do you know how to do things? Did I not teach you? Shinchin felt the change in Du Tian, and didn't say anything. A group of people went downstairs to send Su-yin and Ma San'er off. They didn't stop until the taillights of the car disappeared. When Su-yin left, Du Tian said to Shinchin, Chun, some friendship can't be taken too seriously. We have a cooperative relationship with Mr. Su. Don't treat him as a brother. We don't know him well. Nobody knows what kind of person he is. Do you understand? Chapter 1208. Du Tian's reminder didn't reduce Shinchin's admiration for Su-yin. Instead, it made Shinchin feel that Du Tian's tolerance was far worse than Su-yun's. However, Shinchin wouldn't show this feeling in his heart. Some things were better kept in the heart. It wasn't good for anyone to say it out loud. Especially for people like Du Tian who remembered things easily. He didn't like to hear some of the things in Shinchin's heart at the moment. After selling his life for so many years, Shinchin felt that he was loyal enough. He could also say this with a conscience. But Du Tian still treated him as a tool to sell his life. And it would always be like this. Because their relationship was always based on a master-servant relationship, not brothers. Shinchin understood this from the beginning. However, over the years, the increasingly obvious master-servant relationship made him a little disappointed. Time always made people change, and Shinchin was also changing. This change may not be shown, but it didn't mean that it wasn't in his heart. Early the next morning, Shinchin woke up in a daze. Du Tian was going to the Asian auction house. It was his usual style to go out with a lot of face. Shinchin knew him too well, so he got up very early and called his brothers who did things carefully on weekdays. At 8 o'clock sharp, everyone was already waiting downstairs. Shinchin called Du Tian at 7:30, but it wasn't until 8:30 that Du Tian came downstairs slowly. He was the boss, so he didn't need to explain to anyone that he was a little late. Du Tian was still in a good mood. He personally drove the Panamera that was given to him by Xiao Si. Du Tian and the others' Audi and tyrannical cars followed closely behind. These people were all elites under Du Tian. With them, Du Tian wished he could do whatever he wanted in Yanjing City. The motorcade soon arrived at the entrance of the Asian auction house. Du Tian had already ordered Shinchin to drive several Audi and tyrannical cars to directly block the entrance of the auction house. Although it couldn't be said to be watertight, it was really impossible for anyone to get in or out. The security guards of the auction house were all from a security company, and they didn't earn much money. No one would be stupid enough to cause trouble for themselves. Even a fool could tell that these people were here to cause trouble. Of course, the assistant manager of the auction house also realized that there was a problem and ran over. It was not easy for an outsider like him to work in Beijing. And he had not even gotten a household registration yet. Of course, he did not want to offend anyone. "Oh boss, are you here to inspect the work, or do you need our help? My name is Du Tian." Du Tian pointed at his nose and said, "You guys sent me an invitation to yesterday's charity auction." The assistant manager suddenly realized that this was the Du Tian who ran away after the auction yesterday. Yesterday, the people in the auction house were scolding this grandson for faking the auction. Who would have thought that he would come today? Aya. So it's President Du. It's an honor to meet you at last. Look at my eyes. Even if Mount Tai was right in front of me, I wouldn't be able to recognize you. Sio Du, I'm really sorry. The assistant manager hurriedly said politely, Quick, please come in. President Du, you're here to pay today, right?" Du Tian spat out a mouthful of saliva and maintained his demeanor as a boss. Shinchen stepped forward and grabbed the vice manager's collar. He said rudely, "You people, your dog eyes are blind enough." Shinchen did not need to be reserved. He was a follower, and he was here to play the bad guy. "All right, Chen, don't be like this. We are all people with status, and we are here to reason. Don't hit us." Du Tian said lightly. This was his usual method. He let his subordinates play the bad guy, so he could play the bad guy better. This is not their fault. Let's sit down and discuss. See how to deal with it. The assistant manager of the Asian auction house was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Ask the person who sent me the contract yesterday to come out. Du Tian said, "Let him take a look at me, and see if it was me yesterday." The assistant manager did not understand Du Tian's meaning at all, but he quickly called out the staff who was in charge of Du Tian yesterday. That person came, and his expression was a bit absent-minded. Du Tian still pointed at his nose and said, "Brother, was it me who didn't pay after bidding yesterday?" "Yes," the staff replied in an almost inaudible voice. F***CK. The smile on Du Tian's face froze. "Brother, raise your head and look at me. What do you mean by this? Are you playing with me? Or did you not see clearly?" It's you. Du. Boss Du. That person still said. Du Tian's face sank. Shinchen stepped forward and kicked that person a few meters away. His subordinates behind him all picked up their weapons and were ready to attack. Shinchen scolded. "Are you blind or stupid? I will teach you a lesson, and you will remember it clearly. Is it our boss Du or not?" "Chun, stop," Du Tian suddenly said. If he could avoid fighting, he would definitely not do it. If he did, then they would be unreasonable. "It's me? Did you really see it clearly?" "Yes, I saw it clearly." That staff still insisted. Du Tian nodded vigorously. "Good. You said you saw it clearly. Then show me the CCTV. If it's me, I will King kneel in front of your auction house for a day. If it's not me, I will gouge your dog eyes out." The situation was getting more and more chaotic. The manager of the auction house also ran down. "What's the situation? You are a big boss, and you are making trouble here. This is too degrading for your status. Come, please. Today, I will clearly tell your auction house that the person who came to the auction house yesterday wasn't me. My invitation letter was stolen by someone, and you didn't even notice." Du Tian said. "You are the person in charge, right? Okay, then you have to give me an explanation. How is it possible?" The manager was surprised. Shinchen said impatiently, "That's impossible. Let's King look at the CCTV first. Stop wasting time. This bastard is lying through his teeth. Let's see what else you have to say after looking at the CCTV. What is this?" Shinchen turned around and said to his subordinates, "Do you think our boss Du has a good temper, so he won't dare to smash your place? Well, we can discuss anything. Let's look at the CCTV. No problem. Absolutely no problem." The manager of the auction house was also afraid that something would really happen. He didn't dare to offend this group of people who came aggressively. Isn't it just looking at the CCTV? It's not a big deal. Let's just look at it. It's not like I will lose a piece of meat. Moreover, this time was enough for him to prepare to contact his acquaintances in the police station and ask them to come over to prevent any unexpected things from happening. After coming to the CCTV room, Du Tian was ready to see who was so fearless that they actually dared to pretend to be him and swindle people. A piece of news that made him completely collapse came. Yesterday's CCTV was wiped out. This news was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue. Du Tian, who wasn't very well-mannered, completely couldn't control his emotions. Are you F***king playing with me? Good, good, good. Then I will let you see the consequences of playing with me. Shinshin. This CCTV room can't even keep the CCTV. It's useless to have it. Smash it. I can't, boss. Please do me a favor. The manager of the auction house quickly stepped forward. He was panicking. He had already called the police station's director by for more than 10 minutes. Why hasn't he arranged for anyone to come over yet? This is still considered to be a connection, and it's still so efficient. I really don't know what's the use of calling the police if it's not a connection. Chapter 1209. Then what the F***ck is this situation? Du Tian had completely torn off his mask of hypocrisy, like a bandit through and through. Today I, Du Tian, will leave my words here. If we don't get to the bottom of this matter today, no one will have an easy time. Today I will flatten this place. At this critical moment, the people from the police station closest to the auction house finally came. The surveillance room was pushed open, and a few uniformed people walked in. Du Tian's mood also calmed down a little. What's this situation? There are so many cars parked in front of the door. My district's public security is famous in the country. This year, I'm competing for the best in the country. Whoever delays my competition is going against me. Bai Zhonghua stepped in and stared at Du Tian with his two round eyes. He glanced at Du Tian, and then glanced at Shinshin, and the others behind Du Tian. The manager of the auction house was a person who knew how to make trouble. Although he had privately called Bai Zhonghua to invite him, he still didn't want to offend Du Tian. Director Bai, this is all a misunderstanding. It's nothing. Ehe, why are you here? I'm not here to play. I'm here to work. Bai Zhonghua said. Do you know how to talk? If you don't, then sew your mouth. Yes. It's all my fault. The manager of the auction house hurriedly said. Who was Du Tian? How could he not understand what was going on? He sneered. Okay, you want to play this trick with me? If you have the ability, why don't you invite the people's police to be your bodyguards? Why? Do you have an opinion? I think you guys don't look like good people. Bai Zhonghua raised his eyebrows. Let's do it this way. Since you have a problem, then come with me to the station to talk. There's no point in talking nonsense here. Threatening me. Du Tian was stunned. Director Bai, right? Do you know what the relationship between your Director Tan and me is? Bai Zhonghua frowned at first, then showed some disdain. You want to suppress me just because you know a few people? Who do you think you are? I don't care what relationship you have with Chief Tan. Even if you are sworn brothers with the head of our public security system. If you dare to cause trouble in my territory, I will still arrest you. You better have evidence if you want to accuse us of causing trouble. Shinshin sneered. Which eye of Director Bai saw us causing trouble? You guys. Bai Zhonghua was at a loss for words for a moment. To catch a thief, one had to catch the stolen goods. To catch an adulterous couple, one had to catch them together. Without evidence, even if he was a police officer, he couldn't do anything. It was also a dereliction of duty to pin the blame on them. He turned his gaze to the auction house manager. Did they trouble you? The manager of the auction house didn't want to cause trouble, so of course he wouldn't say, No, it's just a misunderstanding. Then why the F***ck did you call me? Bai Zhonghua held his breath. Alright, since you guys want to play like this, don't blame me for being impolite. Alright, stop talking. I think you guys just want to cause trouble. Follow me back to the station. Director, by this isn't very appropriate, right? The auction house manager panicked when he heard this. Why is it inappropriate? I don't have this little bit of authority, right? Bai Zhonghua felt unhappy when he saw him now. Just go when I ask you to go. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Du Tian snorted and silently took out his phone from his pocket. He dialed a number with a blank expression. Director Tan, I haven't seen you for a while. Are you too busy with work? A muffled voice came from the other side of the phone. The supervision is very strict now. I'm very busy. Why did you think of calling me? Is there anything you need me to help you with? Ha ha ha, Director Tan is really good at predicting things. It's just a small matter, but you don't have to do it. Du Tian said. There's a Director Bai in your area. He likes to meddle in other people's business. Which Director Bai? Give him the phone. I want to see who's meddling in your brother Du's business. When Bai Zhonghua heard Du Tian's phone call, his face was full of shock and disbelief. When he heard people say that he was meddling in other people's business, he was a little angry. But when Du Tian threw the phone over, it was as if someone poured a bucket of cold water over his head. He didn't know what to say. Yanjing City was just a palm-sized place. Du Tian had been around for so long. If he didn't have this little bit of connections, even a small director could shit on his head. Then he wouldn't be able to survive. Bai Zhonghua picked up the phone. Hello. Director Bai? Which Director Bai? This voice really was Director Tan's. Bai Zhonghua tried his best to calm himself down. Director Tan, it's me, Bai Zhonghua. Oh, old Bai. Do you have too much free time now? You don't have enough to do as a director, right? If you can't stay idle, I'll let you go to the bottom level. You can write a report for me. Really, I'll definitely take care of you. Director Tan's words were quite choking. Bai Zhonghua still didn't dare to be rash in front of his boss. Director Tan, there might be a misunderstanding here. Since it's a misunderstanding, then why are you still meddling in it? Hurry up and go back to your office to do what you need to do. Director Tan said. Your performance for the past 3 seasons has been quite good. Why? Are you preparing to shoot yourself in the foot in the last season? Do you still want Director Bai? I'll definitely pay attention to it. Don't worry, Director Tan. Bai Zhonghua's heart was trembling when he said this. Alright, you're also an old cadre. I believe in your ability to handle things. Director Tan said. This Du Tian is my friend. He's in the real estate business. He's the one who developed that U garden. Give me some face and ask him if there's anything he needs you to help him with. No discord, no concord. Let's be friends. Your son has graduated from university for a year. Aren't you preparing to buy a house for him to get married? Talk to Director Du, maybe he'll give you a 10% discount. A house might even save you a Passat. Bai Zhonghua nodded repeatedly. Director Tan, I understand. Alright, if there's nothing else, I'll hang up. I'm still busy with a meeting. You settle Du Tian's matter for me. Director Tan hung up after he finished speaking. Although Bai Zhonghua's attitude didn't change 180 degrees, it had changed at least 160 degrees. Director Du, we're all on the same side. Please don't mind the small misunderstanding just now. Du Tian glanced at Bai Zhonghua arrogantly. He thought to himself, why aren't you awesome? Weren't you awesome just now? That, Director Du, if there's any situation you can tell me. I'll help you settle it. Bai Zhonghua said. This is my jurisdiction after all. I'm familiar with it. Du Tian wanted to say, what's the use of being familiar with it? He wasn't looking for a place. He was looking for someone. Find the video. The manager of the auction house saw that Bai Zhonghua's attitude towards Du Tian had such a big change. He also realized that Director Du wasn't someone to be offended. He immediately explained everything clearly. Bai Zhonghua was at a loss. This matter was really strange. Then I'll think of a way to get the surveillance cameras on the streets. I'll try my best to check it out for you. Du Tian nodded. He didn't accept any big favor from him. Alright, then you take a look. Give me a message as soon as possible. Alright, Director Du, I'll contact them now. Bai Zhonghua did as he said. He did it immediately. Chapter 12:10. Bai Zhonghua only took an hour to investigate everything that should be investigated. He contacted all the departments that should be contacted and should not be contacted. Soon he found the surveillance video in the relevant departments and retrieved the information of the fake Du Tian's car entering and exiting the auction house. But after tracing the car information, it was found that the car was a BMW rented by the car rental company. It was not a private car at all. The car rental company would definitely make money, so the fake ID card was not checked at all. Anyway, they were not afraid of the deposit. Du Tian cursed a few times in his heart. I'm not a nouveau riche. How can I drive a BMW? F***ck, no taste at all. Du Tian had always looked down on people who drove BMWs. He thought that it was a sign of nouveau riche. Only people like him who drove a Panamera were tasteful. The car was almost the same price. There was really no need to argue about this. What should I do? Du Tian said. This car can't be found. You police officers are too interesting. Because the surveillance video of the car rental company was too blurry, there was no face at all. So it was equivalent to an investigation in vain. It was useless. President, do this. I will think of a way. Don't worry. Bai Zhonghua said. There must be a solution. You can rest assured that I will not let this person who pretended to be you escape from our sight. What's the point of saying this now? Du Tian was a little impatient. You can't do this. I won't disturb Director Bai's work. You go back first. I will solve it myself. Du Tian saw Shen Chen's eyes and knew that this kid must have an idea. Then if that's the case, I will go first. Bai Zhonghua was a little embarrassed. However, due to his relationship with Chief Tan, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to do everything well. CEO Du, if there's anything you need, you must tell me. I'll definitely do my best. I won't hesitate to help if it's necessary. Du Tian didn't answer. Bai Zhonghua knew that it was boring, so he didn't say anything. He said goodbye to the manager of the auction house and left. He was sullen in his heart. What the F***ck is this? Not only did he not do anything, but he also lost face. AI, this is so useless. Shen Chen leaned over to Du Tian and said, President Du, in this case, let's go back first. It's not a good idea to wait here. Let's go. Du Tian stood up and said, We'll head back first. When the manager of the auction house heard this, he immediately felt relieved. The Buddha was finally gone. If this continued, he really didn't know what to do. Mr. Du, I'm really sorry. This is really not what we wanted to happen. Alright, don't say so many useless things. It's just a small matter. Let bygones be bygones. I, Du Tian, am not such a narrow-minded person. After Du Tian finished speaking, he turned and left. As soon as they left the auction house, Du Tian called Shen Chen over. Do you have any ideas? Shen Chen whispered. Mr. Du, the guy who received that person at the auction house yesterday insisted that you were the one who met him yesterday. This matter is easy to deal with. He must have received money, otherwise he wouldn't have said that. The other party must have bribed him. Du Tianyi pondered over this matter, and felt that it made sense. Alright kid, why didn't I think of that? That bastard just now is the breakthrough. Shen Chen nodded and said, I'll do it tonight. I'll definitely make him confess. Alright. Chen, I still need to rely on you for this matter. No one can be trusted. Du Tian patted Shen Chen's shoulder. Brother, you must do this well for me. No matter what, you have to pry open that bastard's mouth tonight. This matter is not only about me, but also about Sky Entertainment's Mr. Su. Although we don't know how the other party offended Mr. Su, judging from Mr. Su's ruthlessness, I'm afraid he really wants to tear that bastard apart. Shen Chen nodded. I know, brother. No matter whether this matter has anything to do with Mr. Su or not, if that bastard dares to touch you, I will definitely not let him off easily. Du Tian was very satisfied with Shen Chen's words. With your words, I'm relieved. Let's go and call our brothers to have a meal together. Let's have some fun. Shen Chen drove the A6 and led the way in the front. Du Tian's Panamera followed closely behind, followed by 2 A6s and 4 Datos. The 8 cars left the auction house in a high-profile manner, as if they were escorting a bride. Only then did the manager of the auction house heave a sigh of relief. Looking at the motorcade leaving, the manager of the auction house rubbed his temples and muttered to himself. When the forest is big enough, all kinds of sh*t can happen. Even a charity auction can cause trouble. Sigh. Right, Lu Zheng, what's going on? Was it Du Tian who came yesterday? Lu Zheng was the staff member who was responsible for the tricolored Tang King contract for Du Tian yesterday. He hesitated for a moment and said cautiously, Yes. How can there be two people? Brat, you better tell me the truth. If this is a person, is there something wrong with Du Tian's head? Or is there something wrong with his head? Why is he looking for trouble with us? The manager of the auction house was also an experienced person. There was definitely something fishy about this matter. Lu Zheng sighed awkwardly. Manager, I really don't remember what Du Tian looked like yesterday. I didn't have any contact with him. I just saw him when I was working on the contract, and he went to the toilet. I can't follow him to the toilet. I really don't know what to say. What he said made sense. There were so many people at the auction yesterday. It was not easy to remember one person clearly. Forget it. Anyway, this matter is over. You should work hard. If there's anything else, I'll look for you. Go do your work. The manager of the auction house waved his hand and said, Go. Lu Zheng didn't have much trouble today. In the afternoon, he got off work as usual and squeezed into the bus to leave. He bought some food on the roadside and dragged his tired body back to his rented house. At this moment, it was already past 8 in the evening. He took out the 10,000 yuan under the bed and counted it carefully. This money was not easy to earn. Today he was on tenterhooks for the whole day. He even let someone find his unit, and almost couldn't come back. Sigh, he didn't know if he could continue working. It had been 3 years since he came to Beijing. He was still the Lu Zheng who didn't have a house, a car, or a girlfriend. He didn't have the ambition that he had when he first came to Beijing. People were afraid of being tortured in such a society. As time passed, they would lose their dreams. People in his hometown thought that he was doing well. In fact, he knew best what kind of person he was. Now that he thought about it, it was better to go back. Although the city was small, at least he had a household registration. For 3 years after deducting his food, rent, and utilities, he was definitely a standard moonlight person. Now he only had 10,000 yuan in his hand, and it was so uneasy to take it. Well, since Beijing couldn't accommodate him, he didn't plan to continue staying. He would write a resignation letter later. Tomorrow he would go to the auction house to hand over his work. The day after tomorrow he would buy a ticket to go home. After going back, no matter how bad it was, he still had his parents to help him. No matter how he lived, it wouldn't be worse than in Beijing, right? Just as Lu Zheng was thinking about how to go home, someone knocked on the door. He was sharing a room with his roommate. That roommate went home to visit his family, and said that he would be back the day after tomorrow. Why did he come back today? Lu Zheng opened the door, and wanted to say goodbye to him. However, he saw Shin Chen's face. You are? Lu Zheng just opened his mouth and asked. Suddenly, he realized that it was bad. A thought suddenly appeared in Lu Zheng's mind. Sure enough, the other party kicked him in. Then 2 burly men behind him barged in. Chapter 12:11. Lu Zheng only had one thought. It's over. I'm dead. I'm not even 30 yet. I haven't even gotten a wife, let alone a child. Let alone a happy life in the future. I don't even have the chance to let my mother live. However, the knife didn't stab into his heart as Lu Zheng expected. Instead, it stabbed into his thigh. Shin Chen didn't pull out the knife. He picked up the 10,000 yuan on Lu Zheng's bed and patted it in his hand. Lu Zheng still had the strength to care about the money. He endured the pain and said, Oh, then I'll leave it to my mother. Although Lu Zheng's mouth was covered, Shen Chen could still hear what he said clearly. He was really someone who valued money more than his life. At this time, he still had the energy to worry about such a small amount of money. It could only mean that this guy had never seen money before. However, Shen Chen thought about it carefully. If it was in his early years, he would definitely dare to risk his life for such a small amount of money. It was different now. He could find a place to have fun with his brothers at night, and it would cost more than this amount of money. He really didn't care about such a small amount of money now. Shinchen smiled and said to Lu Zheng, "I'm asking you to speak now. You'll answer whatever I ask. I'll only give you this one chance. If you still want to live, then think carefully before you speak. Do you understand what I mean?" Lu Zheng nodded his head vigorously. Who didn't want to live? How old was he? Of course he wanted to live. Shinchen gave Earbook a look and he immediately released his hand from Lu Zheng's mouth. At that moment, Lu Zheng did think of shouting for help. However, he quickly realized that it would be very risky if he did so. He already felt a chill on his back. Seventh brother's dagger was at his back. As long as he dared to shout, the dagger would stab him. Opportunities were not things that could be gambled on casually. Lu Zheng was timid. He was really scared. After all, he had parents. If he died at this time, it would be a disaster for his father. His parents raised him, but he hadn't done anything filial. For the sake of his parents, he must not let anything happen to him as long as there was a chance. I understand. Lu Zheng endured the pain in his thigh and said. Shinchen saw that he was quite sensible, so he no longer made things difficult for him. He pointed to the 10,000 yuan and said, "Is it worth working for such a small amount of money?" Lu Zheng swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva and thought to himself, this bit of money might not be worth much in the eyes of people like you, but in his eyes, it's worth a lot. His salary in Yanjing was 4,500 yuan a month, which made the civil servants in the counties and cities below him who only received 2,450 yuan a month envious and jealous of him. But it really wasn't enough to cover all these expenses. The rent was 2,000 yuan a month, and the utility bills were 150 yuan apiece. Every day they had to squeeze to and from work. The cheapest public transport cost 150 yuan a month, and the phone bill was another 150 yuan. If he didn't eat or drink, he would only be left with 2,000. What about food? What kind of place was Yanjing City? Even a meal of steamed buns cost 20 yuan. Even if he, Lu Zheng, ate steamed buns 3 times a day, it would still cost him 60 yuan, right? He could save money by eating instant noodles, but he didn't want to develop stomach cancer after a few years. If that happened, he wouldn't have the money to treat it, and could only wait for death. This 4,500 yuan salary was just enough for him to spend. If he were to meet a friend who was getting married, he wouldn't even have the money to send gifts. Our values are different. The same amount of money might be worthless in your eyes, but it might be very valuable in my eyes. Lu Zheng endured the pain and said softly, "If you were stabbed, it would cost you 2,000 to 3,000 yuan to get it treated at the hospital." Shenchen reached out to touch the dagger that was stuck in Lu Zheng's leg. Lu Zheng looked at him and quickly closed his eyes to endure the pain. But before Shenchen touched the dagger, his hand stopped. "If I cut a few centimeters lower, your 10,000 yuan might not be enough to pay for the hospital's sponsorship." When Lu Zheng heard this, he opened his eyes wide in shock and looked at Shenchen in horror. He didn't understand what he meant. "I really don't want to make things difficult for you, but don't make things difficult for me." Shenchen said, "I can understand if you take 10,000 yuan from others and do 10,000 yuan for them. But I don't understand if you take 10,000 yuan to do something that will cost your life. Is your life so worthless?" Lu Zheng wanted to say something, but he was at a loss for words. That's right, he couldn't understand what he was doing. Last night, when he got home from work, he turned on his computer and prepared to be like an internet celebrity. He wanted to record a funny video of himself and upload it online. Who knows, he might become famous overnight. By then, he would be able to earn money from all kinds of cool and high-end entertainment activities. Would he still need to bend his back for money like now? Definitely not. Just as Lu Zheng was contemplating in front of his computer, the fake CEO Du suddenly came to his house. Before Lu Zheng could figure out what was going on, the fake CEO Du slapped the 10,000 yuan in front of him. "This is 10,000 yuan. If someone goes to the auction house to look for you, say that he is the real Du Tian, and that he didn't go to the auction house today. You can insist that he was the one who went there. The fake CEO Du Tian said to Lu Zheng. If you can do it, this 10,000 yuan is yours. This 10,000 yuan was too tempting for Lu Zheng. He definitely couldn't resist it, and agreed on the spot. Moreover, he really didn't understand what it meant at that time. If he thought about it now, he wouldn't do it even if he was given 100,000 yuan, let alone 10,000 yuan. What was the use of money when he was going to lose his life? Earning money was built on the foundation of being alive to spend it. Otherwise, it would only be money to be burned to hell. Since I can find you here, it means that I understand your situation very well. Shenchen said. Everyone has a time when they don't have money. Everyone has a time when they have to bend their back for money. You have to think things through today, and tell me what I want to know. Then you can take the money and leave. Yanjing City is no longer a place for you to stay. If you explain everything to me, I can let you go. However, I can't guarantee that others won't let you go. Anyway, Lu Zheng was prepared to leave. If he didn't explain things clearly today, he was afraid that he would really die here. Big brother, if I tell you everything, will you really let me go? Lu Zheng asked cautiously. Let's make this clear. Don't. Shenchen directly picked up the ashtray on the table and stepped forward to pull out the dagger from Lu Zheng's leg. Before Lu Zheng could cry out, Shenchen directly put the ashtray on his wound and rubbed it hard. This thing was really strange. Just by rubbing it on, the bleeding stopped. At first, Lu Zheng thought that the other party was going to do something to him. Now it turned out that it wasn't the case. Brother. Lu Zheng didn't know what Shenchen meant. I stopped the bleeding for you, so that you can bleed again. Shenchen said. I won't talk nonsense with you. What does that person look like? Lu Zheng gritted his teeth. I have a video of him here. That day he wanted to record a video of himself but didn't. In the end, the fake Du Tian came and recorded it. He didn't even notice it at that time. He only found out later. Originally, he had deleted the video. However, it was still in the recycle bin and hadn't been emptied. Shenchen frowned. Really? Really? Lu Zheng turned on the computer and quickly found the video in the recycle bin. He opened it and showed it to Shenchen. Shenchen directly took a USB flash drive from his table. Give this to me. Copy this video for me. I will arrange for my brothers to send you away tonight. You better not stay in Yanjing for a minute longer. This is for your own good. Lu Zheng also knew that he got into big trouble. He didn't want to resign. Leave. Leave tonight. Fortunately, Shenchen was quite particular. He didn't ask for the 10,000 yuan. This was the best care for Lu Zheng. Just based on this, Lu Zheng had to remember Shenchen's favor. Chapter 12:12. Du Tian was in the upper-class circle in Yanjing City, and his most capable right-hand man, Shenchen, was in the underworld. With Shenchen's current status, it was easy for him to gather dozens of good brothers with just a whistle. Although dozens of people didn't sound like a lot, the appeal of these dozens of people was huge. If each person didn't say much, they could arrange 10 brothers who could really do things to find people, then they could gather hundreds of people. Not to mention that each of these people didn't just find 10 people to do things for them, but dozens of people. Brother Chen had already said that whoever found the whereabouts of the person in the video first would be given a 138 square meter house in the Yu Garden. With such a big reward, who wouldn't be interested? Moreover, the brothers all knew that Shenchen was loyal and would definitely do what he said. If he said he would give it to someone, then he would definitely not go back on his word. As the saying goes, when there is a big reward, there will be brave men. If they really investigated this matter, it wouldn't be difficult. There were originally a lot of spies in the underworld, and there were brothers and friends everywhere. Maybe a little punk would remember someone with a long look. Of course, the house in the Yu Garden was still provided by Du Tian. This was the bargaining chip he gave to Shenchen. It wasn't so easy to do things in the underworld. Not to mention seriously looking for someone. Even if he called 200 people to stand in front of him, it would cost at least 40 to 50,000 yuan. Therefore, it wasn't excessive for Du Tian to provide such a house. It was a must. Of course, these brothers in the underworld would collect money for other people's work, But who would dare to collect money for Shin-chan? Shin-chan's face was in front of them. If they didn't give him face, then they wouldn't be able to mingle in Yanjing City in the future. Everyone knew that Shin-chan was loyal. If he didn't pay attention to people, then he wouldn't pay attention to others. In the underworld, they needed a reputation. If their reputation was bad, then they wouldn't be able to mingle in the underworld. However, Du Tian still gave Shin-chan a hint, saying that he only needed to handle this matter. After finding the person, he didn't need to do anything. Now he still didn't know the situation on Su-yan's side. He asked Shin-chan to keep a low profile. After everything was arranged, Shin-chan said a few words to his brothers. Everyone, whether you treat me as a brother or a brother, today I, Shin-chan, asked you to help me because I really believe in you. This doesn't sound like a big deal, but to me, it's a big deal. Brother Chen, don't worry. You've already spoken. If we don't do this for you, then we're not worthy of being your brothers. Immediately, some people began to shout out their support. Then I, Shin-chan, thank you in advance. When this is over, I'll be the host at Wangfu Restaurant. Shin-chan said, finally, I'll give you all a reminder. Just look for it, and send me a letter after you find it. Don't act rashly. If you alert the enemy, it will be bad for your good intentions. Do you all understand Chen's words? A slightly older gangster stood up. Pay attention to this and don't make any mistakes. Chen asked us to search, so we'll search. Don't King overdo it. After giving out the instructions, Shin-chan also finished his thoughts. When Su-yin left Du Tian his phone number, he saw it and unconsciously remembered it in his heart. That night, when he was free and finished reporting to Du Tian, he unexpectedly dialed Su-yin's phone number. Hello, who is this? Su-yin looked at the unfamiliar number and asked casually. President Su, it's me. Shin-chan said very respectfully, Shin-chan. The one with President Du. Oh, I remember. Su-yin smiled. He had slit his neck with a knife. How could he not remember? What's wrong? Why are you looking for me? Shin-chan paused for a moment before he said, I have something to tell you, CO Su. And I've got the appearance of the person who pretended to be President Du. There's a video. Shin-chan said, I thought about it and decided to send a copy to President Su. Su-yin had seen this person at the auction. Of course, he also hoped that Shin-chan would send him the video so that he could confirm whether it was the same person. Where are you now? I'll go and get it from you. Shin-chan knew that President Su would not come to him personally. No, I'll send it to you. President Su, just tell me the location. That's too embarrassing. Su-yin smiled. Okay, then you can come to Pan Garden. I'll meet you at the door. Since Yuan Qingdi led the Brothers of the Dragon Battle Special Force to cut off Su-yin's tail, Su-yin came to Pan Garden with Ma Sanner again. I'll go right away. Shin-chan was a little excited. Half an hour later, Shin-chan came to Pan Garden with the video. Su-yin met him at the door and went directly to Ma Sanner's shop. Ma Sanner had already prepared the computer. Shin-chan played the video. Su-yin recognized it at first glance. Yes, it was this person. However, Su-yin was more sure of one thing. This person must have undergone a subtle disguise. His cheekbones and chin were obviously treated with human skin silicone. Shin-chan, have you noticed this? Su-yin pointed it out clearly. He has disguised himself, so if you want to find this person, you have to find someone similar to him, such as his chin and cheekbones. This person will be different from the real person. Well, it seems a little difficult to find, but as long as you grasp the characteristics, it will be fine. This person's ears are bigger on the left side and smaller on the right side. The difference between the earlobes is like the difference between a penny and a coin. Is it obvious? Hearing Su-yin's words, Shin-chan realized that it was true. As long as you notice this, and this person's eyes can't be wrong. As long as you see someone similar to him, pay attention to the eyes and earlobes, you can basically be sure. Su-yin. Don't do this with the mentality of it's better to kill 100 people by mistake than to let one person go. If you implicate innocent people, they will be troubled. Yes, I know, Brother Yin. Shin-chan couldn't wait to tell his brothers about this discovery immediately. Before leaving, Shinchin hesitated for a moment and said, Mr. Su, there is something I want to tell you. Go ahead. Su Yin had a good impression of Shinchin. I came here to tell you about this. Can you not tell Mr. Du? Shinchin said. Su Yin smiled slightly. Of course he understood. Of course not. Mr. Du is really narrow-minded. Ha ha ha, I won't tell him. If I tell him, he will definitely overthink. Shinchin also smiled embarrassedly. You don't need to use your whole life to repay the kindness of some people. Su Yin suddenly said. There is no such thing as a favor that can never be repaid. You have to stop before you go too far. Otherwise, others will take it for granted. Haha. I said these words to you because I think we are fated. Shinchin stood at the door of Ma Sener's shop for a long time before he nodded vigorously. Mr. Su, I will remember your words. I am very grateful. You are all emotional people. Su Yin. We are brothers when we know each other. You also remember this. I see that you are a straightforward person, so I want to be friends with you. Don't be pretentious. It will make me dislike you, ha ha. Shinchin left gratefully. He was so excited that he couldn't calm down for a long time. Ma Sander watched Shinchin's car drive away and scratched his head. Brother Yin, what do you think of this kid? Not bad. Su Yin nodded. He mingles in the underworld. Ma Sander was a little experienced. Just as he was about to catch up with the other party, he was stopped by the traffic police. Aya, this investigation is serious. Drunk driving. No, it should be drunk driving. It was quite serious. He was directly brought back to the traffic police station to be dealt with. Erbao drank some wine, and was so arrogant that he didn't even know his own name. He flipped the table with the traffic police, saying that his brother was Shinchin and his boss was Du Tian. The traffic police were least afraid of this kind of person who was fooling around. Their job was to deal with a rash person like Erbao. The more he talked about how awesome his brother was, the more the traffic police felt that he was guilty. Originally, if he had said something nice and asked Du Tian to contact someone, the most they would have done was to fine him some money. This matter would have been over with one eye closed. Now, no matter what he said, his driving license was stripped clean, and he was even detained. Du Tian felt that it was embarrassing. So Shinchin spent a lot of effort to get him out. It was a waste of money and effort. However, Shinchin could treat this as a small matter and close one eye. However, he couldn't accept that he had lost track of the other party. It wasn't easy for him to make progress, but now he had to start from scratch again. He felt that he had let Su Yin down. Du Tian called Shinchin over for a drink today to talk to him about this matter. Chun, it's fine if you lose track of the other party. You can find him again. Bao likes to drink usually. You can't possibly cut off his tongue. This matter is in the past. There's no need to keep harping on it, right? I know what you're thinking. Isn't it that Su Yin? Do you have to think so much because of him? Shinchin didn't say anything. He lowered his head and drank a mouthful of wine. He knew very well what Du Tian meant. I think you don't have to worry so much about this matter. Anyway, the brothers are following. Go out and have fun for a few days. When there's news, someone will naturally inform Bao and seventh brother. Du Tian said. I'll discuss it with Su Yin again. Hearing Du Tian's words, it seemed that he was going to make him a figurehead. CEO Du, since I've accepted this matter, I have to finish it well. This is what you taught me. Shinchin disobeyed Du Tian for the first time. I can't withdraw from this matter. It's not my style to quit halfway. Chun, your wings have hardened. Du Tian smiled slightly. CEO Du, that person also hurt your face. Can you really bear it? Shinchin didn't understand Du Tian's mentality. Why couldn't he give him some space? Brother, I call you brother today. You'll always be my brother. However, can you let me handle this matter myself? Du Tian sneered. Fine, Chen. You've grown up. My Du Tian temple can't tolerate you anymore. If you really think you can go to Su Yun's side, just tell me. Brother, what do you mean by this? Shinchin was surprised. He didn't expect Du Tian to be so straightforward. Originally, He didn't believe that Du Tian would be so straightforward. But now that Du Tian had spoken, there was no room for him to keep it. Du Tian stared at Shin. You still know that you should call me brother? Chun, touch your conscience and speak. 5 years ago, who were you in Yanjing City? Who led you to the road? Who gave you your current status? If it wasn't for me, what would you be now? You really think you're rich now, right? Then let me tell you, if you don't have any money or power, you won't be able to survive. You'll be a pile of mud until you die. Facing Du Tian's vicious attack, Shin didn't refute. He still had a grateful heart. Brother, I know. You know my ass. Du Tian scolded. I gave you a status and identity. Now that you're doing well, you think my temple is small? If you want to jump, I won't stop you. Don't say that I'm hindering your future. After drinking this glass of wine today, you can do whatever you want. Everyone says that you're loyal, but I really don't think so. Shin was still calm. Brother, I can't forget your kindness. In this life, as long as you don't ask me to leave, I'll follow you forever. If you ask me to leave, I'll definitely not stay and be an eyesore. But before I leave, I'll do this for you. Are you doing it for me or for Su Yin? Du Tian asked. Shin eyes were firm. I'll do it for you. This wasn't a lie. Shin primary responsibility was still to Du Tian. After all, Du Tian was his boss. The person who was beaten that day was also Du Tian. Du Tian was stunned. He didn't expect Shin to be so firm. His voice softened. Shin, I've been too tired these days. I drank a bit and spoke nonsense. If there's anything wrong, don't take it to heart. Words couldn't be spoken carelessly. If they were wrong, it would really hurt. Sit. Du Tian said. You're my brother, and you'll always be my brother. I'll definitely do this well. Mr. Du, I won't drink anymore. Drinking too much will delay things. I'll leave first. Shin was no longer in the mood to drink. He directly stood up and said, You should rest early too. Originally, Du Tian had already called him brother, but now it became Mr. Du. Du Tian was dizzy and didn't care about the meaning of the last call. Chapter 12-14. On the 5th day, Shin finally found the suspicious person in a nightclub called Imperial Capital Entertainment in the southern part of the city. Ever since Shin drank with Du Tian last time, he didn't even show up at Du Tian's place for the past 2 days. He was fully focused on finding the person. Yanjing City was only so big. In just 2 days, Shin ran almost 5 laps around the city. Fortunately, hard work paid off, and he finally caught the opportunity. In order to see more clearly, Shin even gave a waiter 500 yuan to change his clothes, and asked him to send some drinks to the private room. The waiter didn't dare to do it, because he was afraid of being fined. However, the head waiter, Sister Lin, recognized Shin at a glance. Oh, isn't this Brother Chen? Why didn't you call me in advance when you came to our place? I could have arranged it for you earlier. Sister Lin said. I could have left a few more beautiful girls for you to drink with. Shin often accompanied Du Tian and some project managers to this kind of place with some leaders who had the power to approve land and get permits stamped. Therefore, some of the foremen in these places were familiar with him. Sister Lin, right? I'm not here to play today. Get me a set of clothes. There are a few people in the room. They might want to talk about business with Du Tian. I'm here today to take a look. Shin said. I don't want to cause trouble for you. What do you think? Sister Lin smiled slightly. She couldn't read Shin expression. However, she was sure that if she didn't arrange it, Shin would really come to this place. Although their boss was quite capable, he might not be able to go against Du Tian. Besides, Shin was their potential customer. Everyone knew about his relationship with Du Tian. If they didn't give him face this time, Shin would say that it wasn't good the next time Du Tian came here. Then they wouldn't be returning customers in the future. Since Brother Chen has something to do, I will definitely cooperate. Sister Lin immediately asked someone to prepare the clothes for Shin. Shin didn't trust his subordinates, so he did it himself. After entering the private room, the lights were dim. Moreover, The suspicious person was hugging a girl at the bar and nibbling on her small breasts. He couldn't see his face clearly. However, he was sure that there were 4 people in the room. There were 8 bar hostesses. Shinchin wanted to hear what the other party was saying, but he couldn't hear clearly. The singing was too chaotic. What are you doing? After delivering the wine, why didn't he scram? What was he doing here? Watching a reality show? Among the 4 of them, the one who was the most distinguishable was the bald man. He was hugging the girls left and right. His left hand was touching the thigh of a young lady, and his right hand was rubbing the chest of a young lady. He was having a lot of fun. When he saw Shinchin put down the wine and didn't leave, he scolded him. Shinchin thought of his identity as a guest waiter, and had no choice but to leave. He had no choice. He couldn't act rashly and alert the enemy. He had to find another way. When Shinchin left the room, the guy who had been burying his face in the bosom of the waitress suddenly raised his head and asked the bald man, "What wine did you order?" "Centaur Tianchan XO," Baldy said. "I say, can't we change the taste? You're always talking about Remy Martin." That person complained. Baldy spat. "Then what do you want to drink?" "This was the cheapest one, 750. I also want to try something like Hennessy Richard, Emperor Napoleon. Are you paying the F*King bill?" "Then let's change to Hennessy XO. It's the same price as Centaur Tianchan. Don't drink the same kind of wine all day. It makes me want to vomit." Although Shinchin left, his ears didn't. He heard what he needed to hear. The one who wanted to change the taste was their suspect target. There were still arguments in the room. "What the F*ck do you drink and not vomit? The wine is about the same price, so the taste is about the same. Next time you pay the bill, drink whatever you want. When this job is over and boss gives you a bonus, you must open a bottle of Emperor Napoleon and give us a treat. A bottle of wine costs 6,000 to 7,000. Do you really think you're a nouveau riche? F*ck. Do nouveau riches drink this? Nouveau riches drink red wine that costs hundreds of thousands a bottle. Our Huaxia nouveau riches are nothing compared to those nouveau riches in the Middle East. They are the ones who are awesome. They eat golden capsules every day. One of them is so expensive that it's equivalent to 2 years of the income of a civil servant in the capital. They just want their poop to shine like gold. Ha ha ha. The people in the room chatted and laughed. They let the waitresses drink with them. There were 4 people, 8 waitresses, and 2 bottles of Remy Martin Tianchan XO set meal. The cost was not low. Poor people couldn't afford this kind of room. Although the place was a little remote, there was a minimum cost for this private room. The wine was served slowly. Sooner or later, they would be able to drink 10,000 yuan. The 8 waitresses' alcohol tolerance was not just for show. Each of them could drink half a liter without a problem. Shinchin walked out of the private room and walked to Sister Lin. He took out 2,000 yuan and threw it to her. "Get me a bottle of Hennessy. Don't stop." "What's going on?" The more Sister Lin didn't understand Shinchen's thoughts, the more she didn't dare to speak carelessly. "Brother Chen, you want to drink?" "I want to save you some trouble and money," Shinchin said. "Who knows, I might even be able to get a few repeat customers for you." Shinchin took the wine and went to the private room again. The 4 people were having fun with the 8 waitresses. When they saw the waiter come in again, they were immediately disgusted. The bald man's reaction was the strongest. "Are you stupid? The wine is already served. If you didn't call you, you wouldn't have come. F*ck. Can't you let people have fun?" "I'm sorry, big brothers. Our foreman is here to deliver the wine." Shinchin quickly took the wine. "Don't stop, Hennessy." "Oh hey." The suspect was finally interested. He crawled out of the waitress's arms and stared at the wine on the table. He looked up and asked Shinchin, "Your foreman is quite generous, huh? The wine, fruits, and snacks we ordered cost less than 3,000 yuan. Your foreman gave us a bottle of wine that costs more than 1,000 yuan. What's the meaning of this?" "Nothing. Big brothers, you take care of her business and let her sisters eat. We just want to express our gratitude. It's not enough to show our respect. I hope you don't mind." Shinchin stared at the suspect's eyes, chin and ears. He understood in his heart. Big brothers, have a good drink. If there's anything wrong with the service, please forgive us. The bald man changed his attitude towards Shen. Little brother, you have a bright future. You know how to talk. Ha ha ha, come, sit down and have a drink with us. Anyway, it was you who gave us the wine. No. I still have to do something. Big brothers have a good drink. Shen said and left. He cursed in his heart. F***ck off. I spent money to buy the wine. I'll just treat it as feeding the dog. When Shen came out, he called Su Yin as he changed out of his waitress uniform. He had to inform her as soon as possible. This person was too suspicious. His eyes, chin, and earlobes. They all met the requirements. If he didn't seize the opportunity, he didn't know how many days it would take to find this person's whereabouts again. Moreover, so many people had been looking for this matter for several days. Shen was somewhat embarrassed. His brothers were giving face to him, but this face couldn't be taken for granted. In these 5 days, the money spent to treat people to drinks and cigarettes was enough to buy a Passat. After all, thousands of people were looking for this matter. How could he let them work for nothing? Of course not. So this time, Shen finally recognized the person. A big stone was lifted from his heart. His task was completed. His brothers could also do their own things. They didn't need to worry about the rest. Although Su Yin said that he didn't need to do anything and only needed to keep an eye on the person, he had his own ideas. He wouldn't do anything first. When Su Yin came, he would definitely be the first to rush up if he needed to do something. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.